Coming to you live from Asbury Park, New Jersey in Asbury Park Stadium, it is once again time for the A7FL Games of the Week as the QC Crush look to make a little bit of a further step towards the playoffs as they take on the best scoring defense in the Eastern Conference, the East Orange Renegades. Hello everybody, I'm Matt Ryan once again with you on A7FL.TV and internationally on DAZN. But I've got a new partner in the booth today. Big Rob can't make it. Corey Hammond's playing football in Maryland. So we look through the Rolodex, and we find a guy who's been a multiple-time A7FL champion, but not on the field, running things from the sideline. He is a certified Hall of Famer when it comes to the execs in this league. He's the GM of the Patterson U, Ryan Shamar. Ryan, welcome to the booth, and welcome to the Games of the Week. We've got a fun matchup here between the Crush and the Renegades. We were talking before we got on air about Anthony Service, the quarterback of the Renegades. To me, he's going to be the biggest factor in this game on either side of the ball for either team. What's your take on Anthony Service?
Yeah, I think Anthony Service is due to have a big game today, a good bounce-back game after suffering a hard loss last week against the Watchmen. So I look for them to try to take control of this game early, try to put their mark on the game so that they can get a good win today, move forward for their playoff push.
It's not going to be easy. They're going up against another top 10 defense and a guy in Keno Thomas who is looking for an opportunity to stand out and show out. And this is probably the biggest opportunity he'll have before the playoffs to show that he and the Crush are contenders in the East.
Yeah, I saw the Crush have a couple good stops in the game earlier this season against the Animals. I'm hoping that they travel well. They're capable. So we'll see whether or not they're able to execute on defense, because them getting stops and then turning those stops into scores is definitely a big part of the game.
And this Renegades team has some veterans on it. Corey Price, DeAndre Haynes, guys who have been playing in big games and big situations. But we've got to talk about the other side of the ball just for a second. Trey Brooks has been a hammer for them on defense. And let's get a look at some of the footage that Trey Brooks has been putting on tape this season. And in the past, too, against the Covington Heights. Ryan, you know that all too well. When you go up against a guy like Trey Brooks, who's coming at you from all angles, all directions, a guy who can run across the field like that, formerly with the Covington Heights, now with the QC Crush. He's fast. He's able to get you and isolate you. That's Jason Sisson, and he's still able to come up, grab him by the ankles, and bring him down. How important is it to have a guy like that who can fill a gap and completely change the totality and the polarity of an offense when it comes to the rushing attack?
Yeah, he's definitely a high motor guy. I mean, those are very important to have. He doesn't give up on any play, even if he misses the initial tackle. But he's overall a good tackler. As you can see, we saw that firsthand last year. He made a couple big tackles, touchdown-saving tackles for the Covington Heights. So, I mean, it's very important to have one of these type of guys on your defense.
And you see him there running the ball and helping out Keno Thomas. This is the QC Crush offense in week early on in the season. They gave the Trenton BIC a little bit of trouble, but we'll see. That's Trey Robinson right there, and they knocked the ball out. These guys, if they get an opportunity for space, they're going to try to find a way to scavenge and get as many points as possible and create the best possible opportunity. And as a coach, that's what you want from an offense.
I mean, that's what you can definitely ask for on the road. I mean, coming all the way to New Jersey for some of these guys, it might be some of their first time. So, coming out early, playing sound defense, trying to force turnovers, and like I said, execute those turnovers to touchdowns will be big for these guys today.
And there we see Anthony Service. This offense for the Renegades has turned into a high-powered attack. A lot of people thought it would be built off the back of 6'8" DeAndre Haynes, but Anthony Service and then Damon Small, the new running back, coming out of the backfield for this team. You see him right there. He's able to make catches. He's able to make big plays, and he's a big-bodied dude. And then you have Richardson Jr., who has been impressing. He showed out in that game against the Watchmen last week, Ryan. As someone who's been a part of this league since the very beginning, to see the Renegades have this kind of turnaround season over season and fulfill a lot of the potential a lot of people saw in them, it's got to be validating for the veterans on this team, but also show that there's a bit of a change in the A7. It's not as static as it once were.
Yeah, they definitely added the right pieces, the right guys that have a lot of chemistry amongst each other, that know how to play, that know what it takes to win at other leagues. So for these guys to be inserted here on the team and be looked at as the underdogs, I'm sure that's a big thing for them.
And we see we're getting ready for the coin toss. The Renegades will be in black with the silver and white letters. The Crush will be in silver with the purple and white lettering. The jersey game in this league in terms of the color schemes, Ryan, that's the one thing I love about the A7FL is the opportunity to show unique colors, unique team names, unique personalities, especially with the nicknames on the backs of the jerseys. That's a thing you only get here in the A7FL, and I'm excited to see more creative opportunities. And I'm going to ask you in the chat. Go to a7fl.com/chat. That's a7fl.com/chat, where you can talk to me and Ryan directly, ask us our thoughts, and look what speaking of speaking of creativity. Only in the American Sevens Football League where you'll see the white hat wearing the... I think that hat could fit me and maybe like 5 other guys. That is Will Franklin, our white hat for today. Completely just wearing a normal hat. Completely not large or magnetized at all. Nope, just a regular, normal hat.
Yeah,
that's the hat. That's the kind of hat you write songs about. Like, that's the kind of free hat you get if you're like the millionth customer of something. Is this his 1 millionth play? Is this his 1 millionth call? I want to know.
Size right there. That's a trademark of Gilly the Kid.
Yep.
That's a good thing right there for Will Franklin. That's a good hat.
Well, he blows the whistle like out in the bay as the Crush and the Renegades are set to face off here on the A7FL Games of the Week. Matt Ryan joined alongside Ryan Shamar for the first time in the booth and fitting in like a glove. I do see.
Rush look like they travel well. Looks like they got a good 20 guys maybe out there.
I was talking with Dale Hathaway, one of the leaders for this team, and they're missing some key talent. Amatrice Hall not in the lineup today, but they've been able to, and they're going to be throwing it off here. They're going to give the Renegades the ball. The Crush won the toss. They will defer to the second half. And Ryan, when it comes to those coin toss situations, especially here in Asbury where the weather in the early part of the year, up until maybe the playoffs, dictates so much of your strategy, so much of your game plan, how important is it to set the tone with the ball, or is it better to just get it at halftime?
It depends on what you're trying to establish in a game. I think right now for the Crush to come out here to defer and get a good stop early in the game will be big for their confidence if they can. And I mean, of course, for the Renegades, the idea is to put the pressure on the Crush.
Thomas throws that ball, and here we go. It's caught inside the 20. It's a live ball. Finds the sideline, pushes through the first man. That's number 20 on the return.
Yeah, if you're the Crush, you're willing to take a stop like that. The Renegades got a lot of explosive guys on the kickoff, as we'll see later on in this game. So that's a good start right there. And now they just got to finish here.
And it will be 1st and 10 for the Renegades. If you're wondering why the clock hasn't run yet, the A7FL's throw-off is an untimed down. And also you saw it's a 3-on-1. And it looks like La Dub in at running back. He wearing the number 31 right now. But he'll be joined alongside Service. And you see DeAndre Haynes, the big man, at tight end. Jimmy Flott at the top of your screen. 2 wide receivers set. 1st and 10. Crush looking to bring almost everybody. The handoff to La Dub. And he finds a seam and will get a solid gain of about 5, 2nd down.
It's good to establish the run, especially in cold weather conditions. That way Anthony Service can work off the play action a little bit later. So it's good that they started off trying to run the ball just to establish some type of drive here.
And when you are trying to go up against a team you've never played before, it's the first time the Crush have ever played the Renegades. Obviously, there's film on both of these teams. But probably, throw in a jab with your heaviest runner to test that defensive line and that pressure. They got 5 yards on that one. I don't know if other teams they've played with, I don't know if the Renegades would start off with La Dub at running back if they were playing the BIC or the U, but it's 2nd and 5. They'll hand it off again to La Dub, and La Dub again pushes through and gets a solid gain. It'll be about 3rd and 3, maybe 2 to 3 yards on that one, and the Renegades continuing to run the clock and push the Crush back.
Yeah, any team will tell you that they'll take 3 to 4 yards on the ground every carry. They'll take that all day. So QC Crush got to figure out a way to slow down this run game and definitely protect that backside for that pull right there from Anthony Service, because as we've seen, he'll take one of those QB reads to the house.
And if DeAndre Haynes continues that block, he might have gotten that 1st down. He was able to get there. But I think they were just around in the bend. On 3rd and 2, Service will throw for the first time today. Can he get there? No, that was intended for Damon Small, and it will be 4th down.
That's a good 3rd down stop. I mean, it's a good shot for the Renegades to take right here, just knowing that they're in 4th down territory.
Pardon me, that was Mo Francis, not La Dub. I apologize. That was number 4, Mo Francis, rocking and you see him right there on the block. My apologies, Ryan. Continue.
Yeah, no, I was just saying it's a good shot for the Renegades to take on 3rd down, knowing that they're going for it on 4th down. A good stop by the Crush here. Like I said, the Crush got to get this stop right here. The crowd in the box. I'm sure Anthony Service will take advantage of the one-on-one here on the outside.
On 4th and 2, they give it one more time to Mo Francis, and Mo Francis will finish the job he started on the first play from scrimmage and get the 1st down.
Yeah, good solid run. I mean, like I said, if you're getting 3 yards to carry, you're not going to stop it.
And it will be 1st and 10. You see number 11 in on the tackle. That's Melvin Broach. And Ryan, in these situations, you continue to run the ball here? Are you looking maybe for a play action? What are you calling from the sideline? It's 1st and 10 with 12:14 left in the first.
Hey, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Like I said, it's windy conditions out there in Asbury. If we're getting these runs, they're going to continue to run the ball. But like I said, Anthony Service is sneaky here from these QB reads.
The snap. The throw underneath. That's caught. That's picked up by Jimmy Flott. And Flott will continue to push his way through his 3rd year in the A7FL. Came in as a member of the Boston Omegas. The last 2 seasons has been with the Renegades. Showing out there, getting the 1st down.
Yeah, this dude, Jimmy Flott here, is a solid receiver, solid hands. Normally catches everything that touches his hands. He runs decent routes. Definitely a good player.
And Francis will remain in the backfield small, and Flott will be at the bottom and top of your screen, respectively. 3 men on the line for Service. It's 1st and 10. Watch a little bit of this pressure off the edge. The snap, and then it will be kept by Service. Service will get past the first defender. Service follows the block, runs down the sideline, touchdown, Renegades.
And that's the play that I was saying that they were setting up the whole drive. Those QB runs, those QB read runs, he's just putting you to sleep, and as soon as he pulls it, he goes for a touchdown. That's been his patented play all season.
And that was the first play from scrimmage he had last week to get the touchdown. Big play here, and just watch the ability to get past that first defender. As soon as he's past him, get down, sir. Please get down. Solid blocking by Damon Small. Guy could not get around him and just had the sideline. Didn't have to change, didn't have to narrow his path at all or widen his path at all. Just found that seam into the end zone.
Hey, I know we always going to reward touchdowns. That's actually a bad read. Locked up probably could have scored. It's just big-time players making big-time plays, man. He made a man miss. Touchdown. He set it up the whole drive.
And it shows the complexity of this Renegades offense. One of the things that have set teams like the BIC and the U apart is the multiple ways to score. And now the Renegades and the Animals have been showing that, especially the last 5 weeks here in the A7FL. Service will keep it, tosses it back, gets it in there, and that is Mo Francis running it in. And at the end of that drive, it is 7-0. That 1 point in the A7FL. It's 1 from the 5, 2 from the 10. No free points, no kicking here in the A7FL. And folks, let's talk about one of our sponsors here in the A7FL. We're brought to you by Gator Tech. Get more protected on the field with the Gator Skin Shiesty, shown up to reduce concussion risk by up to 79%. This protective shiesty is engineered with absorption material to help keep you safer during high-impact hits. Visit GatorTech.com, that's G8R Tech.com, and use the code A7FL25 for 10% off today. Once again, that's GatorTech.com, or scan the QR code now and use the code A7FL25. Matt Ryan joined alongside Ryan Shamar and the giant hat of Will Franklin as the A7FL Games of the Week are live on DAZN, A7FL.TV, and also on the A7FL YouTube channel. If you want to be a part of the conversation, if you want to say we're good, we're great, or we're ass, go to A7FL.com/chat. That's A7FL.com/chat. Shout out to Trevor Narlock, Dem LRC. We got B in the chat. It's your boy Mari. I think that's Omari Thomas in the chat. And Big Hat,
Funny.
That
Big
is
hat
the
got
best
scored.
that's the best graphic, I think, in the history of the league. That might be my favorite graphic. And now on the return, that's number 85, Vaughn Hicks. Hicks in trouble. Flott giving chase. Steps in is number 9. That's Ron Brown. Oh, pardon me, number 0. And that will get the stop, and it will be 1st and 10 after the returning Keno Thomas will come out with the QC Crush offense.
Yeah, QC Crush got to respond here. I mean, they had a good, solid drive defensively. They gave up a 4th down opportunity, and then, of course, the big play goes for the Renegades. So right now, QC Crush got to swing back, got to fight back with a nice, solid driver there on.
And Keno Thomas is a guy who's able to run out there and make things happen with his legs. He's got a pretty decent arm, and he's got an offensive line that's going to have to face down one of the top 2 defenses in terms of scoring in the league. Thomas hands it off, and immediately they're met by the wood chipper and stopped. That's Hicks on the handoff. He's stopped by 18 and 15. And it will be 2nd down.
Renegades got one of the best run-stopping defenses in the league. QC Crush got to be able to play on the outside as well as on the ground game.
Trying to get something to go here. It'll be 2nd and about 14 from the 21. Thomas, about 5 yards back, steps up, in trouble, and will be brought down for another loss of about 8. And it'll be 3rd and an uncomfortable amount as the Renegades are putting the QC Crush on their back foot here in the 1st quarter.
Yeah, 15's a beast. If they don't find a way to block this guy right here, it's going to be a long day for Keno.
And the secondary doing their job, too, just immediately latching onto these guys. We've seen a high zone usage this year from some teams, but it seemed like the Renegades there were sticking to man-to-man coverage, and it will be 3rd and 20.
Yeah, I mean, the need for man versus zone is all based on personnel here. You see a lot of heavy man coverage here when people are blitzing 4.
It's on 3rd and 20. Thomas will have to step up. He will step out and try not to get stepped on, and he is brought down near where he got sacked on the 2nd play of this drive, and it will be 4th down.
Yeah, I mean, you would like to see that type of play on 1st or 2nd down. Good effort from Keno Thomas, but now they're going to be forced to punt here just so they don't give up a short field to this Renegades offense.
Yeah, the first drive for the Crush getting ashed out here. 7-0 your score. The clock will stop as it's a 3-on-1 throw-off. And if you're new to the A7FL, first, hi, how are you? Glad you're here. Took you long enough. But in terms of the 3-on-1 throw-off, it is an untimed down, and much like a kickoff or a punt in traditional football, in terms of our 4th down throw here, if it goes out of bounds, the ball will be spotted where the ball goes out of play. But if it's after a score or to start the game or the half, and it goes out of play, we get a dead ball run. Try to keep y'all informed. And it will be Keno Thomas throwing this off for the Renegades, and they will keep this one. Oh, it's caught inbounds, knocked back in. That is a live ball still. Risky play there from the Renegades, trying to get 6 more points on an untimed down. Drives the shoulder in, and will get a little bit past the initial touch, and it will be 1st and 10 for the Renegades.
It's a perfect punt for the QC Crush. They couldn't afford to give up a short field. They almost had the guy out of bounds with the ball, but, you know, unfortunate bounces happen. If anybody knows about those, it's definitely me and my Patterson U team.
Yeah, and especially that goal line, if they go back about 35 yards, that specific goal line to the right of your screen is the Rubicon of the A7FL. It is where great generals have had their last stand, and just the shoulder being driven in there. That's an aggressive return. That's a guy looking to go as far as he needs to get the score. Service so far 1 for 2, 15 yards, and just, 37 yards rushing for a score. Just on one run. Just like a regular day.
First drive, they kept it real conservative. Run game, pretty much majority of the drive. Little curl here and there. They're playing to keep it the same way again this drive.
And that's handed off to Small. Damon Small kicking in the door, but that one will be stopped, and we see a sea of flags. First time we see yellow this afternoon as we go back to the replay for a second. Ryan, when you get a penalty in any situation, especially when you're on offense, how does that affect your game planning and your momentum? Because that has to be such a momentum killer, such a drive killer.
Yeah, it's definitely a drive killer. I mean, to be honest with you, it's better to happen on first down, if any other down, just so you can reestablish yourself throughout the drive. But third down, big penalties, taking third and fives or third and 15s, or even on fourth down, taking fourth and shorts to fourth and longs, it definitely kills your drive, and your play calling has to change. You got to make adjustments.
And it'll be 1st and 20 after the penalty on the offense. It was a holding call. And it will be 1st and 20.
Oh, got a
No,
false start
no.
there.
And we'll see if it's a false start. It'll be a 1st and 25 for the Renegades. And Ryan, in this situation, again, having to go back another 5 yards. We've seen teams get pushed back to inside their own 5s, inside near their own goal lines before. This is going to be a rough situation, and we've seen a bit of an issue with the replay. We'll hope to get a update on that, as it will be 2nd down.
I mean, it's the best thing that the QC Crush could have happened.
We apologize for the technical difficulties. It will be 2nd and 24 after a gain of just 1. So you didn't miss much. So don't worry about that. And it will be, with 7:30 left to go in our first quarter, small setup to the right of Service. Service will keep it. He will get around the initial rush and will get to around the 40. We'll see where they mark him out.
Looked like the QC Crush made some adjustments here to the run game, trying to get some stops here.
And this was the play from before, that throw to Jimmy Flott. That was the play we missed. It was a 1-yard gain. And the Crush applying pressure. Another flag. We'll see if this one gets waved off. It is holding on the offense. So this Renegades offense that was mired in flags last week, Ryan. This team, both the Watchmen and the Renegades, in their game last week during the A7FL Games of the Week, found themselves in a lot of penalty trouble, a lot of issues, especially on the offensive line. How do you navigate that on the sideline? What do you tell your guys to make sure that they don't continue that pattern week over week?
I mean, what you want to just try to do right here is getting a third and manageable, just to try to give yourself a shot to get a first down. But I mean, holding calls, sometimes the referees are keying in on certain guys, certain situations. So you got to just be careful here, making sure you're getting in and out of that huddle and you're getting rid of the ball quickly as much as you possibly can here. Definitely need a timeout here just to settle the guys down, get their energy back.
And it's 6:57 left to go in the first. We burn our first timeout. It is 2nd and 34. Not ideal, even though the Renegades are up 7-0. If they're able to get a big defensive stop here, the Crush in Renegades territory could tie this game up. Matt Ryan joined alongside Ryan Shamar, and we're so glad you're joining us on the A7FL Games of the Week, and you can watch us anytime, anyplace, anywhere. How can you do that? Go to a7fl.com/watch. That's a7fl.com/watch. Head on over to the locker room chat real quick at a7fl.com/chat. And a shout out to Jaffos, the all-pro Jaffos, who do a great job covering the A7FL. You can check them out on social media. Trevor Narlock in the chat. We got B in there. And you should be in there too. Go to a7fl.com/chat. 2nd and 34. Service launches this one, cannot get there, and it will be 3rd down. Could not make that play.
It's the biggest play of the game right now for the QC Crush. They got to be able to get this stop right here to force a punt to get themselves an opportunity for a short field on offense. They can't give up a first down or any petty penalties right now that could give the Renegades an automatic first down.
And in the playoffs, Ryan, how important is it for your guys, especially on the offensive line in the trenches, to be disciplined? Because we are getting close. We're 2 weeks away, 2 game weeks away after this week. Before the playoffs, we have the bye next week because of Easter.
Yeah, I mean, it's very important at this point here, just to establish what you need to for your team moving forward.
3rd and 34.
all the time.
Service throws underneath, caught, and that will get them near the initial line of scrimmage, but it still will be 4th and long.
That's a good stop right there. Good catch by Mikey Richardson right there on the sideline.
Yeah, Richardson stepped up the last couple of weeks, and we'll see again here on the replay. And watch Service going through all of his different options. And DeAndre Haynes, big block there to save the drive. And sets up a 4th down, and the offense will stay out there on 4th and 14. Ryan, I don't know what your laugh says it all. You're going for it here, or are you not going for it?
I mean, this is disrespectful with the wind, and it's 4th and 15. They just believe in their offense more than anything else here at this point.
And the Crush will actually burn a timeout. And then the Renegades did not it was an official timeout. They were communicating between the officials, which stopped the clock. There was a bit of communication problem there. So no timeouts were burned until just now. Crush have 2, or Renegades have 3, with 4:58 left to go in a very fast first quarter. But folks, if you want to get a custom A7FL jersey, or if you want to outfit you, your teams, your friends, you can get custom athletic uniforms for athletes of all sports and ages at tpg-sports.com. That's tpg-sports.com. Matt Ryan joined alongside Ryan Shamar. And Ryan, as people take a look at Asbury Park Stadium in Asbury Park, New Jersey, when you go through what we see here today, the momentum for this game, both of these teams walking into the playoffs, is huge. And when you have this chance to get a big win, the Crush have not been able on the games of the week yet to walk out with a defining victory. And when you take a look at this Renegades team, who have taken a large piece of the conversation among players, coaches, and captains, especially here in the Eastern Conference, this is a prove-it game, I think, for both teams.
It's more of a prove-it game for the Crush. I think the Renegades, even though they have 2 losses, I mean, they fought down to 1 possession in both losses against 2 top competitors. I think they've proved themselves a little bit.
Well, let's see if they prove it on 4th and 14. The throw, and that one is caught through the window. Jimmy Flatt makes the catch. First down, Renegades. Ryan Shamar being proven right. It's 1st and 10. The Renegades continue to show out.
You can't give a quarterback like Service that much time. I mean, he's a Division II quarterback. He knows how to find his receivers downfield. I mean, they just gave up almost 15 yards on the previous play. So to come back with this 2-man rush and give him the first down or give him all the time to find his receiver downfield is pretty depressing for them.
And also the lack of engagement there on the line. It was 40 was trying to find his opening to get past DeAndre Haynes, but when you're going up against someone that size,
at 99 right there, Christian Cole, he's a D2 All-American offensive lineman. It's pretty hard.
And Service will keep it. He will get inside the 30 and brought down at the 27. Clock will continue to run in the first.
Yeah, that's that QB option read again from Service. Like I've said, that's pretty much his patented play all season this year. Every time he pulls it, he makes a big play happen.
And we will have scores from around the league a little bit later on. The Buzz and the Hawks going down right now in the DMV. And shout out to Hines watching from Torrington, Connecticut. We've got a variety of games here today, and we see that play again where Service fooled the cameraman. But we still get the ISO shot here. This Crush defense has been caught on the back foot a lot after getting some really big stops on to start this drive. Give up a 4th and 14. And on 1st and 10, Small will keep it. Small, certainly just a last name, not a designation. He just plows through the defense, and it will be 1st down.
Yeah, I mean, he's a hard-running athlete, bro. He plays all positions from defensive end to receiver to running back. He lines up wherever you need him and produces. Solid player.
And we see the replay of that last run by Small. And just that, 28. Oh, no, buddy. He withstood the majority of that. But
yeah, I mean, he did all he can. I mean, when you got a guy like that that's 260 running down full speed, I mean, the best you can do is wrap up, and he did his job.
Service with time, throws underneath, and that one cannot be held onto by Richardson, and it will be second down.
I don't know what's going on with Mikey Richardson this year. I've never seen him drop this many passes in my life. That's a good curl route, a good ball.
It looked like he got hit as he was catching it, but it might have just caught him off the ball.
He usually makes this play. I mean, he just cut his hair. I hope he didn't lose any of his strength.
Yeah, you don't want to get yourself in a Samson and Delilah situation. That happened to me once in Teaneck, and never been good at mini golf since. Ever since, just never good at mini golf.
Yeah, he had a little twist in his hair about a week ago. He has a fade. He's
trying to start over after the overtime loss.
That's dangerous for everyone in the league.
The throw to the end zone, the flat. Can he get it? Did he hold on?
He bobbled a little bit.
Out of play.
I mean, regardless, that's a heck of an effort. I mean, we'll see here on the replay whether or not he was able to reestablish possession before he went out of bounds.
And Ryan Shamar, when it comes to challenging a play and checking the replay, there's not many better. We see here again. Ooh, no. Ooh. No, that's incomplete.
Looks like when he reestablished possession, he was already out of bounds. I'll see if they challenge this.
I don't know if you want to challenge this. It's reviewable. Technically, I think it could be reviewed, but they will not go to the replay. They will go for third down. Minute 2 left to go. 3rd and 10. They hand it off to Small one more time. Small hits the B button and grinds to the 12. It will be 4th down, but they earned every single yard on this one, and they continue to walk down this DC Buzz defense.
Just even the play calling right there is a testimony to how good they believe in their running game to run a inside zone on 3rd and 10 when you're getting 4 yards a carry, 5 yards a carry just to get them 4th down and manageable. I mean, it's just great for the Renegades to be able to establish it.
And I think that's just the respect they have for their offensive line and their running backs. They are willing to ride these guys. And also, like, Flott and Richardson have made some plays, but the most success they've had has been with the run. Small in motion set up to the right. The handoff, nope, it'll be kept by Service. Service in trouble.
The defense here, you got to come up here with a tackle.
The throw to the end zone, incomplete. We will end the first quarter with the Renegades having 4th down deep in their own territory and deep in Crush territory to get this 7-0, and the Crush having to go 80-plus yards to tie this game up. We will be back with your second quarter in just a moment. It's the A7FL Games of the Week. back live with the A7FL Games of the Week, and if you don't have a hat like Will Franklin and you're mad about it, you know how you can let us know. Go to a7fl.com/chat. That's a7fl.com/chat. Download Locker Room Chat, the official sponsor of the A7FL, your favorite ref's favorite ref, especially when it comes to sartorial splendor, is Will Franklin. I'm Matt Ryan, joined alongside Ryan Shamar, the GM of the Patterson U. Live with us this
stop by the QC Crush here. They got to establish some type of offensive drive.
And they are in trouble. Thomas finds his way. The ball comes loose, and the Crush end up with it. And Ryan, as soon as you compliment them, the wheels come off a little bit. The Crush will keep it, but the ball flies out, and it'll be second down. And folks, drop a comment, get a shout out. Go to the Locker Room Chat today. Download it at a7fl.com/chat. That's a7fl.com/chat. Checking in on the Locker Room Chat. Crusher doing well, wrapping up and group tackling the big men. Ben don't break mentality, but the offense needs to step it up. That's coming in from the All-Pro Jaffos. Jaffos TV in the chat. In motion, number 85. He tosses it to him in his own end zone, and that is a safety. Oh, no, they'll call him down at the 1.
Was made at the 1. I mean, they have to know who they're playing. I mean, the Renegades are not letting them get outside. They're containing Keno Thomas. They're making him try to beat him with his arm. He has to step up in the pocket and make a play happen with his arm. They're not going to do these little end around, these little jet sweeps. They're not going to work against a team like the Renegades.
And that is it, playing a dangerous game. It'll be 3rd and 21. And the Crush up against the wall.
At this point, you got nothing to lose. You got to go max protection here and try to take a shot.
Yeah, and it looks like they're doing that, but here comes the pressure. Thomas rolls out. He leaves. He flings this one up. Can't get there, and it will be 4th down.
The unforgiving winds at Asbury Park definitely pushed that ball out of bounds. I mean, at this point, they gotta get a good offensive drive, or it's gonna be a long day here. Because Anthony Service is moving this ball, the run game is moving for the Renegades. They definitely got a good stop there inside their own red zone, but at this point, if the QC Crush can't move the ball opposite 50 and try to score, I don't see this game getting any closer for them.
And Ryan, when we talk about the weather in Asbury, can you, as someone who stood on those sidelines in all variations of the 57 different seasons that are Asbury Park weather, what are they going through right now when it comes to the cold and the wind? Because the wind is going to be a huge governor in this game as Keno Thomas throws off.
Well, as you can see, a big part of the Renegades offense this whole game has been running the football, running QB option read here with Anthony Service, and throwing those small curl routes. I mean, he did have a big play when he needed it on 4th and 13 to make a dig route happen over the middle to Jimmy Flop. But other than that, he's been very conservative with his play calling, and that's what you need to do in bad weather conditions, especially when you're trying to establish something throughout the game. QC Crush need to take a page out of their book here and try to do the same thing.
And on the 4th down, the Renegades get great field position, but this game is brought to you by Gator Tech. Get more protected on the field with the Gator Skin Shiesty, shown up to reduce concussion risk by 79%, up to 79%. This protective Shiesty is engineered with absorption material to help keep you safer during high-impact hits. Visit GatorTech.com, that's G8R Tech.com, and use code A7FL25 for 10% off today. 1st and 10 for the Renegades. They get the ball inside their own 45. Service 4 for 9, 57 yards from the air today. 37-yard rushing touchdown, looking to add a score here and through the hands of Jimmy Flott. And solid coverage kept step for step, but looking for a PI call there, Rye.
That's great defense, and as you can see, we were just talking about the win factor. Now that the Renegades are going with the win instead of against the win. First play out, Anthony Service takes a shot downfield because he's now going with the win, whereas he never took a shot like that in the first quarter because they were going against the win. That's good for him. Good to see that they want to open up the playbook a little bit, but I look for them to get back to their regular game plan throughout this drive.
They look to send Flott back to the sideline. They send Small to the left of Service. Richardson at the top of your screen. The snap. That's a handoff. Pushing through the pile, but will only get a gain of about 3, and it will be second down. Third
Looks
down,
like they weren't even ready here. DeAndre Haynes was standing straight up. He wasn't even in his normal 2-point stance, ready to fire off the block or anything. That's why that play got stopped short. I mean, once again, QC Crush got to know that the Renegades are trying to go for it on fourth down. So they got 2 more plays here to try to get off the field and get back on offense to try to produce something here in this first half.
Pardon me, Small was on the sideline. When you have a guy like Small, are you trying to use him as an every down back, or would you use him the way the Renegades are, where he's this versatile, multiple position player where he rotates between the backfield and right here at the bottom of your screen?
I mean, with a guy like Small, you have to use him how you can.
And the throw down tries to get the first down. It's the number 31. Cannot get there, so it will be fourth down.
I mean, he's an athlete, so you don't want to put a lid on an athlete when he can be used on multiple facets. It looks like they're a little thin at the wide receiver position today. I don't see Kyle Ward out there, so they're probably using him all over the field as much as he possibly can. I see Mikey Richardson check back into the game, so I look for them to put it in the air again on fourth down here.
And 31 trying to outshift Keno Thomas there. Tried to huff him.
That's a great tackle by Keno Thomas. He has to be outweighed by at least 100 pounds right there.
And it will be 4th and 4. Ball needs to get past the 34-yard line. The snap, Service steps up and throws, and that one is caught. And that is Small. He will stay upright, and the man holds on to him. Number 10 tried to hold on to him like when you hold on to your mom.
That play right there. It would have been a heck of an interception if he was able to pull it off. I think they're starting to get used to. Look at the break on the ball there by Keno Thomas. Oh, man, that would have been a game-changing play right there. But see, once I said about Damon Small, I mean, he's an athlete. Put him anywhere on the field, he makes plays. But look at the play right there. Keno just 1 inch short. Pause.
Just a half second ahead of schedule. Thomas could have had a game-breaking play there. But the Renegades continue to drive with 10:04 left to go in our first half.
Yeah, the Renegades need to start switching up their play calling. It looks like the QC Crush are starting to buy into these QB reads and these curl routes.
Watch the corners there, keeping an eye on Service. The throw over the middle off the hands of the receiver, Richardson, and it will be second down.
QC Crush are playing decent defense. I mean, this is what you can ask for. They're wrapping up. They're making gang tackles. They're starting to have some IQ out there. They're paying attention to the repetitive play calling of the Renegades. I mean, they're only dialing up maybe 4 or 5 different plays. They look to be where they need to be. It's just all about execution and making plays right here.
Oh, that almost could have been picked off 2 different times, but it'll be second down. And it will be 2 wide receivers at the top of your screen. Watch for Haynes, the tight end, but Service will keep it. He'll toss it back to the big man, number 31, and that will be out of play at the 12. It'll be third down.
Another fourth down territory drive here for the Renegades. Looks like here they just try to grind you out, try to get you in third and short, fourth and manageable, just so that they can just move the chains. They're not doing too much. Like I said, they're running the same 4 or 5 different plays. It looks like here the QC Crush are starting to get a little hints of what they're going to do next. It's just all about execution and stopping it.
And right here, Ryan, what would be a play you would call on the offensive side of the ball? What's the one thing right now that is it keeping it with Service? Just let him go with it?
I mean, they're going to do another inside zone probably with a QB read. I'm not trying to make it too much. Every time they go twins here, it looks like they're trying to get to the outside opposite, so we'll see.
And you see Haynes as an eligible receiver. The throw underneath, that's to Richardson, and he will walk into the end zone. Touchdown, Renegades.
I like the clear out with the slant. I mean, it's definitely something they haven't ran all day today, and Mikey Richardson showing off his push-up game.
He owed a few. He owed a few after those misses, so he gets into the end zone. Oop, sticks the landing that time, and it is 13-0. But the Crush there were solid on defense. They were just able to find a way. That the referee showing off his bicep, and we'll take a look at the replay.
Man, love to see it here. Good block by Christian Cole here. Running back helps out a little bit just to give him just enough time.
And also the window, getting it in between the defenders on the line. That was a solid throw from Service.
Yeah, Mikey Richardson's a really strong receiver. We had him on Patterson U last year, but he was only able to play defensive back because we just had a deeper rotation at receiver.
And they will go for the 1, and that one will be incomplete. But with 8:08, no heartbreak for the Renegades as they keep the lead. But when we return, can the QC Crush get on the board with an untimed down? It's 13-0. The Crush are back next. Back live on the A7FL Games of the Week. And are you an online creator or business owner managing oceans of live and recorded video? Are you looking to better optimize and monetize those assets? Scene helps you get complete control over video content, organize inventory, and maximize monetization with shoppable prompts and ads at optimum times to generate and increase revenue. See it in action on A7FL.tv and learn about the next level of video commerce and social video scaling at Scene, SEEN.com. Trying to make a Scene highlight here. Rips through the defender, but cannot get around him. Will get taken out of play at the 29. Matt Ryan joined alongside Ryan Shamar. It's the A7FL Games of the Week, live on A7FL.tv and DAZN following the return from number 15. Not Amatrice Hall, but a man rocking the number 15 jersey today. Ryan, right here, right now, if you were calling the plays for the QC Crush, what are the things you're seeing that can help them get on the board for the first time today?
Well, you got to take advantage of the fact that the Renegades are staying in man-to-man defense and trying to crowd the box, try to draw something up that can counter that. Because right now, the Renegades aren't trying to let Keno Thomas out of the box, so he got to show them that he can at least make a throw down the field just to keep them honest.
And that was Amatrice Saul. Sorry, I thought he was a healthy scratch today. I looked at my roster wrong, but not looking wrong here, but it's intercepted by the Renegades.
Yeah, see, at that point, if you're not going to honor Keno Thomas's arm, it's going to be a long day for the QC Crush, because at this point, they're forcing him to throw the ball. He got to show that he's an able-bodied thrower. Great play by this kid right here. I think his name's D'Angelo.
That's D'Angelo. I believe that's D'Angelo Brown. Let's take a look again at the replay. Thomas.
Just giving him all the time in the world. He had a guy underneath.
Ooh.
He just went for a big shot.
He was going for Khalil Thomas. The intended receiver was Khalil Thomas, but we see again on the replay, just runs right underneath and just extends out. He's got long arms, so all he had to do was extend out and bring that ball in.
Yeah, he had D'Angelo beat by a couple steps, but like I said, that win right there, and Asbury Park looked like the ball hung up there a little bit, gave D'Angelo some time to recover, and he made a great play.
1st and 10, 7:15 left to go in the half. The handoff, pushing through the pile, and that's some high running to the 41-yard line, and it will be 2nd down.
Once again, this Renegades O-line is producing 4 to 5 yards every single time they carry the ball. And in a game like this, where you're down 2 scores, if you can't stop the run, then they're going to run this down your throat and eat this clock up.
And they are trying to run through the remainder of their schedule, the Renegades, a team that has been talked about in conversation early on in the season because of that guy you see raising his hand, DeAndre Haynes. But they have filled out on offense. Jimmy Flott at the bottom of your screen, Richardson at the top. 2nd and 1. They keep it, and that's swatted off the line. Great play by number 40. That's Trey Brooks. We talked about him, 40 Brooks, in the pregame, and he steps up big here, and it'll be 3rd down after the stop from Brooks.
Yeah, we definitely talked about him as one of the key players for the QC Crush. He's doing a good job as much as he can there to contain the edge. He had a big stop on the last QB option read. That service ran to a shot as well. They just got to get more plays like this.
You see there, just, ooh. If they would have kept that, that would have probably been 3 to 4 yards, but it'll be 3rd and 1. They give it to Small, and you can see Small, just the footwork, but he gets carried back, but that should be enough for the first down.
I mean, Keno Thomas, like I said, he did all he could to try to force the cutback, to slow Small down. It wasn't enough to stop the first down, but they're not letting any big plays go down the field, 20 yards, 30 yards, 40 yards, but the Renegades are just withstanding these long drives. Look at the blocking. My God.
And then you just see that, just the way he's able to shift his hips and his feet so quickly and turn that direction around. Small's impressive in this short sample size we've seen from him this season.
Yeah, they're clearing this out. If he would have cut that back as soon as he got it, probably hit his head on the goalpost.
1st and 10, Matt Ryan joined alongside Ryan Shamar. The Renegades driving after an interception from D'Angelo Brown. The throw, service to the... Oh, and that one's picked off. The announcer, Jinx, gets service. He gets Castellano'd, and the Crush get it to the initial line where the ball was thrown, and with 4:44 left to go, they find new life as the Crush get a holy grail and look for the Magna Carta in the end zone.
Like I said all day, these corners have been playing as much as they possibly can. They've been taking away big plays down the field. They just gave up that little slant route. They had a problem tackling Michael Thomas on the last drive, but I mean, they've been playing great coverage downfield all day. They've only been giving up the underneath curls. It looks like they made a consistent effort here to not get beat deep, and it's a great play by this kid.
True Ruffin with the catch and the interception. We'll take a look again at the replay. The defensive end at the last moment, that DT, number 33, threw his hands up.
That's good pressure. I mean, that's what you want to do with a quarterback like Service. Have him trying to throw the ball off his back foot, fading backwards, not able to step into a throw like that, where he could have put more on the ball.
So Keno Thomas gets new life in motion. The handoff on 1st down, and
Jesus Christ.
That stops no blocking whatsoever. The offensive line gets met with a hammer, and that is a loss of 2, and it will be 2nd down.
Yeah, they got to find a way to mix up these play callings just to try to keep the Renegades defense a little honest, because right now they're very aggressive. They're just flowing to the ball and just making plays.
And you see KT on the offensive line. He's got long dreads, but he is putting them in his jersey because they are a part of the uniform. Hair is a part of the uniform in the A7FL. So KT on the offensive line keeping his hair inside the jersey with a little help from that Shiesty.
Got man-to-man coverage down here at the bottom.
Yeah, that is a tight gap, and that's the man who got the pick the last time for the Renegades on the last drive for the Crush. It's 2nd and 12. Thomas off the screen, and they are immediately met and maybe gain 1. It'll be 3rd down.
That's just a poorly executed screen. Number 40 never got out of his stance here to get out there to block on that corner.
And Ryan, when you have the wind going against you, the way the Crush have had it on offense, and they are not able to get this offensive line going, right now, is it about just walking down the clock and trying to keep possession for as long as you can? Because when you get it at half, play action. Thomas in trouble. Keno Thomas needs to let this one go, and he will be brought down again. Another sack on Keno Thomas, and it will be 4th down.
See, plays like the screen on 2nd down is not a bad play call because you're trying to use the Renegades' aggressiveness against them. However, you just got to execute it better because right now they can't block them up front. So you got to get the ball out quick. You got to make quick reads. You got to get the ball out because right here he's running for his life all day today.
And Thomas, you see again here on the replay, concedes to number 13. And it will be 4th down. You see Carl Meisner taking photos for us today. His BIC will be playing the Animals at 4 o'clock in our national game of the week. You can watch that on Triller TV Plus, Fight 24/7 presented by Triller, Fox Soul, internationally on DAZN, and also on A7FL.TV and on our YouTube channel. Matt Ryan joined alongside Ryan Shamar. And folks, if you're an athlete at any level, get taped up like a pro from our friends at Tape Me Up. professional athletic training services available to athletes of all sports and ages. Reach out today at tapemeup.net. That's tapemeup.net. Or scan the QR code now and get taped up like a pro.
Firsthand, I know what that argument is in that QC Crush huddle. They're debating on whether or not they should punt this ball, play defense, and try to go into the half down 2 scores and cut the game down to 1 score after the half, as opposed to them going for it on 4th and 15 with their offense not being able to move and giving up a short field and possibly going down 20-0. They got to stay together here on the road. They got to just find a way to execute, find a way to weather the storm.
And they will step directly into the eye of the hurricane with 2:28 left to go in their own territory on 4th and 15. It'll be the Crush looking to go for it. Down 13-0. Thomas in trouble, steps up, throws. Can he get there? He cannot, and the Renegades will get the ball back after a turnover on 4th down. So the Crush once again not able to knock on the door as the score remains 13-0 late in the first half.
Hey, man, like I said, it's all about execution here. That was the best ran play they've had in about 10 minutes of real-time football. He had a little protection. He stepped up in the pocket. God was open by a step or two. Just a bad ball thrown into the wind.
And right there is the voice of Ryan Shamar, the GM of the Patterson U. I'm Matt Ryan. This is the A7FL Games of the Week. And with 2:19 and counting, the Renegades will get the ball back with a 13-0 lead and all their timeouts. The Crush will get the ball at halftime. Renegades will need to move fast here to not get this play out before the 2-minute warning. And they snap here on 1st down. There's the screen to Jimmy Flott. Flott will get a gain of about 3, and that will take us to the 2-minute warning. With $1:57 left to go in the first half, the Renegades have the lead, but will they be able to find a way to increase it, or will the Crush find a way to make things a little bitter for the Renegades? We'll be back with more after this. Back here live at 1:57 left to go in the first half. Matt Ryan joined alongside Ryan Shamar. It's the A7FL Games of the Week on A7FL.tv. And if you want to bring the A7FL to your city, whether you're in New Orleans, New York, or beyond, whether you're in Oregon, Orlando, or all points in between, bring our sport to your town. Bring the A7FL to your city. Go to a7fl.com/owners. That's a7fl.com/owners. Matt Ryan joined alongside Ryan Shamar and Anthony Service on 2nd and 8 after the 2-minute warning gets picked off. Back-to-back drives, back-to-back picks for the Renegades offense. The Crush pull another pick, number 10. That's Deontay Bailey ripping it away from Service and the Renegades.
Like I said in the pregame, this QC Crush team is gritty. They can get stops on defense. Looks like a design rollout by the Renegades, and they read it like a book. Got right underneath and made a great play on this interception. Design rollout, left the backside in free, rolls out, and he flew right underneath it. Good coverage.
Anticipated the play, too, because he was keeping an eye on Jimmy Flott, and the call is roughing the passer, so this will get taken back. This will get called back.
That's a back-breaking call.
Yeah, that's gotta hurt that QC Crush defense. It's got to take a little wind out of the sails. A big call like that, a big turnaround after such a defensive a period, an exclamation point from that Crush defense.
That was definitely the stop that they needed there.
But the Renegades will get an extra 15 yards, and it will be 1st and 10 after the officials confer. And right now, with one timeout and 1:48 left to go, we'll take a look again at the replay.
Yeah, I didn't see it. I don't know if you saw it.
I didn't see it. Oh, and he touched him. He extended his arm out. So
yeah, I mean, he sold it more than the contact was really there. He just gave him a little push on the shoulder. I mean, that's not really roughing, but I mean, the ref usually only sees the quarterback hit the ground aggressively. It looks like here they overturned it.
It might have been overturned per the dance of the guy on the QC Crush defense. And I think if players did more Fortnite emotes, it would help as a signal for what the call was.
I mean, it's not going to help his offense from moving because they probably have about 30 yards of total offense in this first half. But, I mean,
we'll have Cole Gardella check that one out. But the call will stand. The pick will stand. And it'll be 1st and 10 for Thomas and the Crush after they got stifled on their last drive. It will be 1st and 10 for Keno Thomas. He's got Hicks set up to his right.
Okay, good option.
And that's Thomas. He will get past the 1st down marker. The clock will continue to run.
Or it is, like I said, they got to find a way here to counter this blitz and this pressure that they've been applied all first half. It looks like here they found something that works. Let's see what they do to capitalize.
Little lack of urgency, but this will be a no huddle. 1:24, the clock continuing to run here. The only time they'll be able to crack the clock and stop it is if they run out of bounds or get an incompletion to throw on the screen. Almost picked off, and that will be an incompletion, but that will stop the clock at 1:14.
Yeah, they got pretty lucky there. That could have easily been a pick six the other way if Jimmy Flock gets his head around a little earlier. They got to find a way to just get into some kind of rhythm here to go into halftime. And if they could go in with a one-score game, getting the ball after the half, I mean, it'll go a long way here for the QC Crush.
On A7FL.com/chat, Jaffos TV saying the football gods are keeping the Crush in this one. Ryan, what do you think?
I definitely think that they got pretty lucky. I mean, they're earning it defensively. They're keeping it honest. They forced 2 big turnovers, actually 3, because they got a turnover on downs in the red zone. So I mean, they're doing what they need to do defensively. I mean, holding this Renegades team to 13 points is what they can hope for.
2nd and 10, the throw off the hands, incomplete. It'll be 3rd down.
Great release right there from the tight end. I mean, quarterback Keno has to make better plays. He's looking way better on defense than he is on offense right now. He's not able to keep in any rhythm.
And with 1:08 left to go, this offensive line being put pressure on. They are feeling the squeeze from this Renegades defense as we get deeper and deeper in the first half.
And that's the disadvantage of playing both ways because he's not able to warm up his arm on the sideline when the defense is on the field because he's playing safety.
And the snap, pressure immediately. Thomas gets around the defenders. He finds some open screen. He finds some open lanes. He will get to the 47 and under a minute left. Clock continuing to run.
Got to get on the ball here.
And he looks like he was limping a little bit. They might have burned their last time out.
Oh, no. That's bad clock management here, knowing that the A7 rules stop the clock when you go out of bounds underneath 2 minutes. He got to either figure out a way to get out of bounds or at least get his offense on the ball so that he can maximize his time. But good play here, good elusiveness. Way to get out of there, finally be able to show his elusiveness and his speed. Renegades have been trying to contain him all day.
But the thing for the Renegades is they must be happy that they got him right into the middle of the field. They were able to funnel him right into the center of the field to keep the clock running.
Yeah, I mean, it's good IQ by these guys doing what they need to do. I mean, they would have loved to have a sack right there to try to stymie this entire drive earlier. But I mean, QC Crush look like they're gaining some type of confidence in this game here from these turnovers. Like I said earlier, the best they can hope for is to turn the Renegades over, capitalize off the turnovers by getting some points on the board.
56 seconds left to go. It is 13-0, and this is brought to you by A7FL.com/owners. I told you before. I'm going to tell you again. If you want to bring the best in spring football to your town, go to A7FL.com/owners. The snap. Thomas throws to the sideline. That's caught. The clock will stop, but a solid gain for second down. The ball will be at the 46.
And there's
Second
that
and
confidence.
5.
Best throw all day. Throws an out route perfect to the sideline where only his guy can get it, or an incomplete pass with a defensive end on his back there. Great throw from Keno Thomas. Best throw he's made all day.
And with 52 seconds, the smart move to throw to the sideline stops the clock. Still a long way to go. It'll be second and 5 from the 46. 2 wide receivers, one at the top and bottom of your screen, and you got a guy right there in the slot set up as a pseudo tight end. Another tight end, they might have only 2 on the line. If he leaks out, in trouble. Thomas has to find something. He stutter steps, gets caught by the turf monster. That'll be thrown out of play, and it'll be third down. And again, Ryan, the Renegades defensive line getting pressure immediately off the ball, and Thomas having to find himself on his back foot and launch this one.
Yeah, I mean, that was instant pressure. I mean, they showed a 2 tight end set. One of the tight ends released out, and the offensive lineman on his side never got out there to block the defensive end. This D-line of the Renegades is one of the best in the league. They're very strong. They're very rangy, tall, guys with long arms, speed. They can definitely cause confusion and problems for a quarterback all day.
And much like the Stevens Ultimate Team, these two teams looking to lock a spot in the A7FL playoffs. Matt Ryan joined alongside Ryan Shamar. Win here will help both.
No pressure now.
They hand it off, get the first down, and they will get past the 44, and it will be first down as we take a look back earlier in this game. Ryan, when you see they're able to make that play, that shows you that they're quick decision-making, able to get off the ball, but now they just have to keep going faster. They did not give them the first down. It'll be 4th and 1.
That's a bad spot. The officials should look at that.
The play action, Thomas in trouble. He is surrounded by defenders, and he is sent to the ground, and it'll be 4th down, and that should be the end of the half.
Yeah, I don't agree with the spot. Officials should have took some time to look at that. I mean, unfortunately for the Crush, they didn't have any timeouts in order to challenge, but I believe that was a first down at the end of the day when they fought for it. But I mean, a good stop by the Renegades. QC Crush got to go into the half with their most impressive offensive drive the entire first half and try to maximize off of that.
And at the end of the first half, and we'll see if this is the official end of the half as the Renegades stepped back onto the field. A lot of things for both teams to think about, but the Crush have been able to find space late here in the first half, create some first downs, get some pressure on the Renegades defense. But as soon as they have any momentum going forward, they've been sent back emphatically by the Renegades defensive line. DeAndre Haynes stepping up in a big way just by his presence there. He's 6'7". You automatically, Ryan, have to put 2 guys on him because he's the size of 2 guys.
They have another guy on their D-line that looks like he's about the same size as DeAndre Haynes. So having 2 DeAndre Hayneses with a great D-tackle, I mean, it just causes more and more problems.
And it's per the officials, the clock stopped at 2 seconds, so there were 2 seconds. The drive ended with 2 seconds left on the clock, so the Renegades will get one more shot on offense before halftime.
QC Crush has got to be smart here. I mean, you don't want any pass interference, any defensive holding to give the Renegades any cheap yards and one more play after this. You want this to be the last play, have your guys knock the ball down, no Hail Mary. Renegades have the win with them, so Service can make a good throw down the field. He has the arm talent to get the ball in the end zone area.
And there was no sepia filter that we took off the cameras. It was cloudy in Asbury Park. That old school smoke filter was real life. It is a lot sunnier on the Atlantic coast right now as we are live from Asbury Park, so it's a much brighter situation as we head into the half than it was just a few moments ago. The snap, Service to walk this off, throws it down to Small. Small will get the first down and more. Small will plow through. He will keep moving. He will stay upright, tosses it back to Richardson, and he's out of play. Small would have had the touchdown, I think, but that just sets the tone for the end of our first half. At the end of 30 minutes of this 60-minute showdown, it is the Crush down 13-0 but they get the ball at halftime and look to reset everything when they get the 3-on-1 throw off. When we return here, we will have more. It's halftime next.
Waiting a halftime comes through. Big first half here from the Renegades.
We apologize for the technical difficulties. We're back live here on the A7FL Games of the Week. Ryan, what are your thoughts on the first half so far?
I mean, the QC Crush defense is doing all they can to keep them in the game. Like we said in the pregame here, it's about the QC Crush's offense versus the East Orange Renegades defense, which has been the matchup of the game. Some uncharacteristic throws from Anthony Servance, but that isn't to take away from the outstanding defense of the QC Crusher secondary coming up with those 2 interceptions.
And this is brought to you by Champs House. Get your fan gear today. Don't just watch the game, wear the game. Go to A7FLshop.com.
The keys for the second half here, QC Crushers have to maximize off that last drive, trying to get Keno Thomas in some space here so that he can utilize his athleticism and his speed to try to make things difficult there for that pressure that the East Orange Renegades defensive line is doing with pursuing him and containing him the entire first half.
And when we come back here on the A7FL Games of the Week, we'll go through highlights and we'll go through stats as we are at the end of the first half, 13-0. Renegades leading the Crush. When we come back here with the A7FL Games of the Week, we'll have halftime stats and a whole lot more. We're on A7FL.tv. And we take a look at highlights here, Ryan, starting off with the Renegades with the ball. They were starting out strong, and they were able to build off the momentum, getting it over to Anthony Service right there underneath as we continue to Jimmy Flott. Flott has been a bellwether for them with the limited options at wide receiver.
Yeah, big 4th down conversion here by the Renegades that actually was able to keep this drive going before this QB option here with Anthony Service skirting down the sideline for a 40-yard touchdown run.
And they go for the extra point right here to make it 7-0, getting it over to Big Mo Francis. Looking to cloud run that one.
The staple of their offense in the red zone is that QB option there to the running back.
And the Crush offense was not getting off to a fast start. They were getting an emphatic message from the East Orange Welcoming Committee. That defensive line has put Keno Thomas behind the 8 ball numerous times today, Ryan.
They've done a great job QB spying Keno Thomas to keep him in the box to make him win with his arm, which he's had trouble doing, executing throws down the field all day today.
And you see here that pushing through on that 3-on-1 return, just at any point, just trying to put a body on the body, the Renegades, to just show their force and just show how physical the games are here in the East. And we go back to Service later half of the first quarter, making that pass through a window to Jimmy Flott.
Yeah, this was the drive of the game right here. QC Crush had the Renegades, I believe it was 2nd and 34 on this drive. And for the Renegades to come up with a big 3rd down play and a bigger 4th down play to keep this drive going here, that ultimately resulted in points. I mean, it was the biggest drive of the game for the QC Crush to try to force to a stop in some form of fashion here.
And that's looked like to be a safety, but would end up being brought down at the 1. The Crush could not contain and could not keep it going. The Renegades would get the ball back, but the big man putting it through Keno Thomas there, his shoulder, and the ball as they continued to drive in the second.
They look to be undersized and undermanned, but the heart and the effort here, the QC Crush with their tackling and their constant pursuing, almost an interception there from Keno Thomas, and then an even bigger play later on in this half. I mean, they've been staying with it. They have some heart, and that's what you can hope for on the road. They just got to put the execution with it for some of these plays.
And they got it to Richardson there underneath, and he was able to speed his way into the end zone, giving up some push-ups after dropping a few key balls early on in this one. But that is where we stand with it being 13-0. That would be the final score, and showing off the backflip for a little extra measure.
Yeah, he's one of the best kept secrets in the league, and I hope he continues to show it throughout the season. He's a really good player, and I'm glad he's able to show it.
D'Angelo Brown with the interception. But then on the next drive for the Renegades, they would get that ball swatted down by Fody Brooks, Trayvon Brooks, and just an impressive guy. We talked about him in pregame.
He has to have more of an impact in the second half if they're going to have a chance to even be in a position to win this game. But just some pressure right there, Service throwing on his back foot into an interception, good coverage from this cornerback right here. A way to return it, just give his guys some opportunity here with 4 minutes left in the first half to do something.
And it would end up with Keno Thomas trying to run down the clock, but he would be brought down on a huge 3rd down, and the Renegades would get another chance. But Service, next drive, picked off, and that was by Deontay Bailey. And it looks like the Crush might have gotten Service's time down late in the first half. It'll be interesting to see how that plays out in half number 2. But with 1:44 left, down 13, it would be on Keno Thomas to try to make something happen, and then he would step up, get the first down, and more. One of the biggest chunk gains of the day. We'll be back after this. Back live at halftime, Matt Ryan joined alongside Ryan Shamar for the A7FL Games of the Week. 13-0 your score. Let's take a look at some stats, and not necessarily what you want if you are the QC Crush. 37 rushing yards, only 3 positive pass yards. And you take a look at those turnovers. The Renegades losing the turnover battle, but winning everywhere else on the stat sheet where it matters. But when it hits double zeros, Ryan Shamar, do you think that the Renegades will be able to keep this lead, or will the QC Crush find a way to shift the momentum on the 3-on-1 return?
They'll be able to keep this lead here with their running game if they just keep running the football. I mean, Anthony Service put together a great first quarter, second quarter not so great with the 2 turnovers. But as long as they're able to ground and pound and take care of the football, they'll be able to come away with this victory. I haven't seen anything to show me that the QC Crush can put together back-to-back offensive drives to score touchdowns to take control of this lead. So we'll see here if they can get something going their way. But then, like I said, they just got to stay together. They're on the road. They're undersized. They're undermanned. They're keeping it close. But it's all on the Renegades right now to stick to their guns, stick to their running game, and get out of here with a good win.
And if you want to be a part of the conversation, head on over to a7fl.com/chat. That's a7fl.com/chat. Join us in there. Shout out to Mizzle. Shout out to Marty Marr. Shout out to Jaffos TV. A lot of people watching and enjoying, and we want to hear from you. So go to a7fl.com/chat. It will be Brown throwing it, being a part of the return team here, as the QC Crush will get the ball to start off our second half. And the secondaries have been, Ryan, a real interesting part of the conversation, something that I didn't think about being a key factor in this game until we saw that first interception. Ever since then, we see Damon Small, yet again, not a small man. Those hands are like frying pans, and he can barely fit his gloves on.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like here he's trying to put somebody else's gloves on so that he can get a grip on this football here to throw it on the kickoff. It definitely looks like somebody else's glove.
He's known to wear blue gloves. That's like, it's become a visual trademark of his. But yeah, those look like he's wearing plastic hospital gloves. He looks like he's wearing rubber gloves right now, receiver gloves. But it will be a 3-on-1 throw off, an untimed down. It must clear 35 yards on the fly, and it will be on Small. That'll bounce. That's a live ball that will be picked up by Drew Ruffin. Ruffin will get past the 10. Finds a momentum and is brought down.
That's a great defensive pursuit there by D'Angelo Brown on that kickoff. Good throw there from Damon Small.
Yeah, D'Angelo Brown, who got the pick earlier in the game.
And you want to see guys like him have a lot of confidence boosters throughout this game. He's usually a role player. So in a game like this one where he's able to play a bigger role because they don't have their full staff team, with him making big plays, it'll help later on in the season when his number's called. He'll be more engaged. He'll be ready to play. His confidence level is up here.
And shout out to Shedrick Goodrich, who we'll see in our 4 o'clock game, watching along in the chat, and also someone who's got a big fight coming up, I believe, this month. So shout out to him. Splits his time between a football player and MMA. The handoff immediately met by the defense. Small in on the stop, and it'll be second and longer than they wanted. Very odd choice there by Keno Thomas on the handoff.
I just don't understand why you come out with a running back delay on first down. It's kind of like one of those plays that you set up when you're getting the D ends to come too far up the field, so then that's more of a reactive play that you set up over some time. It's not normally a first down call on the first play of a drive.
Well, they lose 5 on that one, and Thomas will run out to the sideline and try to get back to the initial line of scrimmage. And it will be third down as they try to 4 yards in a cloud of dust. It's some old Ohio State-style football, Ryan, from the team from the Queen City, and it'll be third and maybe 14.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a good start to the second half here, especially after a return like that gets you knocked down inside your own 20, and then you come out with 2 plays that haven't produced any positive yardage. I mean, once again, here we go. It's Keno time, either with his legs or he got to make a play with his arm, but it's on him to make a play here.
3rd and 13 13-15 left to go in the third. Keno Thomas with the ball. In trouble in his own end zone. He steps up, and once again it turns into a foot race. Tries to get past Ron Brown and is brought down at the 20. It will be 4th down.
We want a better block out here from 85. I mean, you see your quarterback break the pocket. If he sails off his man, Keno Thomas might still be running right now. But, I mean, it's a good play. It looks like it was going to be nullified anyway with a hold in there in the backfield from what it looks like here. But
and we, after some mistake-filled football in the first half, not a lot of penalties in the second game. And shout out to Keno Thomas rocking the Gator Tech Shiesty. So if you want to see it in action, you're seeing it here. And if you want to get one for yourself, go to Gator Tech. That's G8RTech.com. Use the code A7FL10. A7FL25, pardon me, for 10% off. That's the code A7FL25. And Thomas stepping up and making use of that gator skin.
it didn't look like much of a hold at all. I mean, I'm not the referee here, but it looks like that was a good block there.
Teddy in on defense as well as the offensive line. That guy just saw Teddy coming off of there. He's been one of the bigger voices on that Renegades team so far this season. And Rondo in on the tackle.
Yeah, it didn't look like much of a hold there on 99, but the official made the call. QC Crush got to pay the consequences.
And it will be 3rd down. Matt Ryan joined alongside Ryan Shamar on A7FL.TV and DAZN. And it'll be 3rd and on 18 with the marker set at the Crush 5-yard line. Keno Thomas backed up into his own end zone with a lot of space on that line, it looks like. Unsure. They have four receivers and 2 men on the line. Looking to, and as they move them back a little bit more, they actually moved it back, the markers at the 2.5. The snap. Thomas launches this one. Caught at 1st down. Queen City.
Oh, keep running. Keep
the ball
running.
wasn't
He's
touched.
Never touched down.
He's
keep
live.
Running.
Von Hicks slide from 97.5 yards away.
He was never touched down. That's
Crush.
a touchdown. Big play for Keno Thomas and the QC Crush.
Biggest
play of the game. Let's go.
Keno Thomas, Von Hicks making it happen. Run the replay back. Give it to me again. Give it to me again. Von Hicks putting up 6. Broken play, broken minds, broken scoreboard.
He can't block, but he can catch and he can run. But he can't
Let's take a look again at the replay. Thomas immediately met by trouble, has to roll all the way out to his left.
Good route. That's a good route from Von Hicks.
And Rondo just catches up to him, but too late. Never touches him. Never touches him at all. There is no contact with any member of the Renegades and Von Hicks. So that is a live catch. That is a touchdown.
Yeah, Rondo's a veteran. That's a veteran mistake here. He's been in this league too long to not understand that. He has to make that play. He has to at least touch that guy down, or at least make some contact while he's on the ground. Great play for QC Crush. We got a ball game now, fellas.
13-6 is the score, and obviously all scoring plays are reviewed, but this one will count. And the mental lapse there, Ryan, how mad would you be if you just saw that happen with your defense? Because I know the standards you keep for your guys on a play like that. How angry is GM Ron Clark right now?
Ron Clark has to be pulling out his gray hair right now. That's my guy, but I had to take the opportunity when it presented itself. Ron has to be very upset right now. I know some of the guys on the Renegades are upset and probably were unaware because it's their first year in this league that you have to touch the guy down, just like in the NFL, in order for him to be confirmed down by contact.
And Ryan, that we just called some history officially in the modern record books, the longest modern pass play in A7FL history, 98 yards. A 98-yard pass play, the crush on the Renegades. The big man in now. He tosses it back, looking to make this 13-7. Slips through the defenders. Keno Thomas.
A big conversion right here. Big conversion. Hopefully it stands.
mugging the camera. Looks like this one might stand, but folks, if you want to rock what Keno Thomas is rocking, get yourself into the game. This one's brought to you by Gator Tech. Get more protected on the field with the Gator Skin Shiesty, shown to reduce concussion risk by up to 79%. This protective Shiesty is engineered with absorption material to help keep you safer during high-impact hits. Visit G8R, that's GatorTech.com, and use code A7FL25 for 10% off. And here's why you should use code A7FL25 here. Thomas rocking that Shiesty, looking good, feeling good, dancing into the end zone, making it 13-7. And Ryan, the momentum has shifted in this game, and now it's on the Renegades to respond. Even though they have the lead, it feels like right now the Crush have the juice.
It was looking a little dark there on the first drive of the second half. Wasn't anything positive going. I said the big thing was that they needed to maximize their momentum off that last drive of the first half. You know, sometimes it pays to get lucky in this league, and they got lucky here with Rondo having a veteran mishap there in his judgment by not tapping his guy down after he fell. Heads up play by Von Hicks, though, to keep the play alive. His sideline definitely told him keep running. Even he thought the play was over, but a good heads up play by him and the speed to finish the drive there.
Whether you're in a statue garden in Italy, Brooklyn, or beyond, we're so glad you're joining us here on the A7FL Games of the Week. Matt Ryan joined alongside Ryan Shamar. 12:39 left to go in our first half as the Renegades will get the ball for the first time in the second half after giving up a historic pass play to Keno Thomas, Vaughn Hicks, and the QC Crush. It'll be an untimed down and an opportunity for the Renegades to reset the momentum. That's Damon Small, and Small.
It's a great tackle there by Keno Thomas. Like I said, he has a lot of heart for him to be. He looks about, he's 170, 175, soaking wet with a hoodie on. And he's out here wrapping guys up, making plays, not being afraid of contact, running through tackles. He's doing everything that his team is needing him to do. Shows a lot of heart.
And going right for the knees, going right for the ankles, wrapping up.
You can't ask for nothing else. That's a good wrap against a guy, like I said, that's about 260 pounds, or almost probably outweighs that guy by 100 pounds. He makes a great tackle.
I think he might be the most valuable athlete on that QC Crush roster right now.
For sure, and he's showing it today.
Two wide receivers set, Flott and Richardson. The snap, the handoff, gets through the initial pile and will get a gain of about 6. And the Renegades offense going back to their bread and butter, a big carry there, and it will be second down.
Yeah, they've been in this 11 set all day today, which is one tight end, one running back, with one receiver on each side of the formation, and just setting up these inside zone runs. Hopefully we see another QB read option here by Anthony Service at some point during this drive.
And right now, the offensive line for the Renegades have had a pretty solid day. Service with 3 wide receivers, 1 man in motion. They keep it, does Service. Service finds the seam, finds the lane, screams downfield, stays upright. He gets pushed out of play.
Oh, is that ball still in bounds?
No, that got knocked out. I think that was knocked out of play. Deontay Bailey on the stop, but Service and the Renegades.
I looked pretty close. I've seen him get knocked out of bounds, but the ball looked like it might have stayed in. But here's the QB read option run I was just talking about. They just set it up on the previous play, just changed the formation with a little jet motion. And look at the way he's able to break tackles and keep his feet in bounds to get downfield. Good pursuit here. Yeah,
it hit the white line.
Okay.
DeAndre Haynes will be an eligible receiver. First and 10, 10:52 and counting. You can see Trey Brooks not happy with how that last play went. 3 on the line, 2 wide receivers, 1 man set to the left of Service. They snap and they will hand it off. Brooks in pursuit, and he will get there. There was nowhere for the running back to go, Ryan. He only found the sideline in a very agitated Trey Brooks. It'll be second down.
Yeah, I mean, Brooks has to be upset because on the previous play, the defensive end broke contain and allowed Service to run that read option again that he's been doing so well all game today. So with his pursuit right here, I mean, it's just pure frustration. But he did what he needed to do. He ran the play down. Guided
him exactly to where other bodies were and just pinned him down there. the lack of space sometimes to where a rushing lane can be infinitesimally small. We've seen it with Anthony Service so far today. And it will be 2nd and 11. The handoff kept again. Here's the sideline, pushes through, touchdown Renegades.
That's a great run. Honestly, I don't want to take away from this running back because he made a great play. But the blocking by Mikey Richardson on the outside, he's one of the best blocking receivers in this league. And Anthony Service does enough to hold the defensive end with that read step to give this cutback lane for 20. Watch the read step. He freezes 40, opens up this gap right here, and what a move right there on Keno Thomas. And then watch Anthony Richardson help him out. This what creates this touchdown right there.
Just put his body in space, create the distance. Can't see it, but he's smiling. He's smizing right now, throws up the heart, and that is a 2-score lead once again for the Renegades. 19-7 your score.
That's great vision by that kid, whoever he is. This is my first time seeing him actually play, but it was great vision by him on that run. That's a great play call.
Empty backfield. The throw, that's Corey Price out there, and that one's picked off by Thomas, but that will be a dead ball play.
His first throw of the game, CP got to just put that ball right there. He put too much air under it. He got to just throw a nice, solid bullet pass there.
Looked like he was trying to get the defense on their back foot, try to make them miss, but not able to get to the receiver. Keno Thomas with the stop. So 19-7 your score. And if you want to grab the official uniforms of the A7FL and you want to wear the gear you see on the field, go to where it's always effort over excuses. TPG Sports, the official uniform provider of the A7FL, provides custom athletic uniforms for athletes of all sports and ages. Get your favorite A7FL team's personalized jersey today at a7flshop.com. I have to say, I really like the silver and purple. And those black and white, I like the uniform color choices this year. I feel like I like the blue of the DC Buzz, a little too close to the BIC blue, but Ryan, you guys at the Patterson U have always had great uniforms, and you guys take a sense of identity into your branding. What does it mean for these guys to rep their city, rep their hometown, rep their area in a completely different part of the world? What has it been like for you when the U had to travel to Maryland or to Pennsylvania to take these long trips to represent where you're from as we prepare for the 3-on-1 throw-off?
I mean, it's a little different now than it used to be. When the guys were transitioning to the A7FL, it used to be a lot of guys, you know, more or less repping their city, whereas I feel like now it's more regional. A7FL has allowed more guys to put together what the best team is and not necessarily wrap it around just the city that they're from. But it's still pride in the name on the front of your jersey, and so it creates a swagger to your team. How your jersey is, how your uniform is, it creates an instant swagger that I think translates to the field. Guys take pride in their jerseys and what they look like, and Deion Sanders said it best: you look good, you play good.
And right now the Crush playing good after their last touchdown on offense, gave one up, but look to style themselves back into the end zone with Keno Thomas. 9:15 left to go in the third quarter. Thomas in trouble, and he will fight back the defender, but he will be brought down by Khalil Green, I believe, number 34 in on the tackle. That's Malik Brown.
Awesome. He's one of the most consistent edge rushers that this league has for a long time as a speed rusher. He knows how to take the right angles, and he's been around for a long time since SWG. It's a good tackle right here.
Emphatic tackle by number 34. As the pressure continues to mount for Thomas and the QC Crush. Current score in Maryland is 12-6. It's Destiny Day here in the A7FL, where we find out who from the East will be moving on to the bigger tournament. 2nd and 25 to toss underneath. And again, the Renegades defense swarming to the ball. It'll be 3rd down. Keno Thomas. Go ahead, Ryan.
That's the 2nd time in this game they've tried to execute this screen, and it looks like that time it was there, but the execution is like Keno's waiting. You see him patting the ball. He's waiting for it to open up. They look like they could have had the wall set up had he got the ball out even a little faster, but it's just the execution of these plays are just not where they need to be.
Keno Thomas sacked 5 times today, and it will be Q Quentin Vaughn in at quarterback. We see Amatrice Hall at the top of your screen.
With 2 down linemen, look for some type of.
And it looks like there was might have gotten the defense to jump the line. They might have gotten a little bit of help here on 3rd and 28. Right now, if you're Quentin Vaughn stepping in, you are
false start.
Well, false start on the offense. If that's the call, it moves them back closer to that goal line, and we've already seen one almost safety today, and Vaughn will set up at the 1 with 3rd and 28. Vaughn throws this one underneath. It's caught, but that will only be a gain of about 4, and it will be 4th down. This Crush offense cannot find themselves out of the web of this Renegades pass rush.
Yeah, I think that at this point they need to just take some time to think about punting this football. I mean, the defense didn't have a good output the last drive, but overall for the game, they've been consistently playing decent defense. You give the Renegades the ball right here on roughly the 15-yard line, you can go ahead and kiss this game goodbye.
And it will be 4th and 28. They will throw it off here. With 7:01 left to go, coming up at 4 o'clock, 2 of the top teams in the A7FL face off for the only time in the regular season. And it might be a preview of a big-time playoff matchup as the undefeated Silk City Animals and Trenton BIC square off in our game of the week. Join me and Ryan Shamar live at 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific. If you want to watch live, find out where at a7fl.com/watch. And that ball is thrown out to the 37-38-yard line near the initial line, the first down marker for the Crush.
Like I said in the first half, throwing into the wind kind of carried that. I mean, he only looked like he got 28 yards on a punt. It was just pretty much terrible. I mean, for all that, he could have just went for it.
And not what you want right now. The Renegades with solid field position as the trees start to slowly become in bloom here in Nasbury Park. And we'll take a brief timeout. We'll be back. Back live here. It's the A7FL Game of the Week, and if you want to be a part of the conversation, you can head on over to a7fl.com/chat. Drop a comment, get a shout-out. Download the official chat of the A7FL. Download Locker Room Chat today at a7fl.com/chat. Matt Ryan joined alongside Ryan Shamar, the third frame, as the East Orange Renegades will get the ball back after a throw-off from the QC Crush. Another turnover for the Crush as they are down 19-7. Service on first down, throws it underneath to Richardson. Richardson will catch it around the 33-yard line, and it will be second down.
Yeah, nice little honest curl route. One of their drive starters has always been either an inside zone or a small curl route or a slant route right here. He has perfect timing. Nice little curl route to Mikey Richardson. Just gets the drive going, gets Anthony Cervantes arm warmed up. It's like a shooter in basketball watching the ball go through the hoop. Now he's warming himself up, getting himself ready for his next charge.
2nd and 6. Flott at the top of your screen. Richardson at the bottom. DeAndre Haynes, an eligible receiver. The snap, and there's a handoff once again, and the running back will get the first down and more. Get it to the 25, and that will be first down.
Yeah, it's been the story of the day. This running game right here for the Renegades against this QC Crush defense. They've been pretty able to run the ball, whether it been these inside zone runs or these QB read options. I mean, they've been having them guessing all day. At one point, it looked like QC was kind of wearing it down, trying to figure out how to stop it, putting extra guys in the box, but they got to stay consistent with their defense or it's not going to work out.
5:30 left to go in the half. Pardon me, in the third quarter. And the Renegades continuing the drive, 1st and 10. You see Brooks looking to set up on the edge, and here comes the pressure, the handoff again, and pushing through the pile. Just a big step, big motion, and he cracks through the defense. 1st down and Renegades. And a flag on the
blocking and a good read by him. Let's see what this flag is. It might be holding on the offense. We got to see.
We'll see on the replay. Maybe, I think 99 might have gotten a little got held on that one.
Looks like hands to the face on a running back also. I don't know whether or not they saw that. Looks like that's what that flag was right there on Keno Thomas.
Not what you want right now if you're the Crush, and it's illegal hands to the face.
Yeah, so that's what it looks like.
Shamar Stradamus on that one. With 5:07 left to go in the third, the Renegades continue to drive. Brooks to try to make some sort of impact as he did in the first half. Try to get a big stop here. It'll be 1st and 14 after the penalties. The snap, service, throws this one to the end zone. Intercepted! One more time. That's Deontay Bailey. Bailey with his 2nd interception of the day. Rips this one in the end zone and gets it to the 30-yard line.
Looks like this might be pass interference. There was some contact down the field. But once again, good pursuit, good ball hawk by the secondary of the QC Crush. But it does look like this might be coming back for some type of contact down the field.
Let's take a look at the replay. Service. Going, oh, there it is. There it is.
Yeah, he caught him with a grab there on the back of the jersey. He has a good way to play the ball, but he got a little too handsy there. Back judge caught him.
And the officials keeping both teams honest, keeping the Renegades in this drive. Pass interference on the Crush, the official call. And Will has magically changed hats. Unless it you know, they dip it in water. It's like a shrinky-dink kind of situation, but it will be 1st and 10.
You got explanation by the referee there. Sometimes that's all the players want, just to keep out of the referee's face. Told the guys from the QC Crush he grabbed him in the back before he elevated to make the play on the ball. It's an easy call.
And at 1st and 10, 4:45 left to go. Things haven't gotten chippy yet, and it's been very competitive between both sides, but both teams have kind of kept an even keel, which is what you love to see. But with 4:45 left to go, and Jaffo's TV saying in the chat, he was tracking the ball great. Why did he have to grab the guy? But sometimes it's just instinctive. 1st and 10, where you just any advantage you can get, as long as you don't get caught. And Service not going to get caught as he cuts through and gets the 1st down and will be out of play at the 5.
The QB read option has been dangerous, but like I said, it only works as good as the run game is working. And as long as these running backs are getting 4 or 5 yards a clip, I mean, that QB read option is hard to stop for a defensive end, especially with a quarterback that got the speed like Service that can take it to the house at any point. But as far as the chippiness in the game, I mean, when you're playing an out-of-state opponent for the first time, there's really no in-between. You're either going to have a conservative game right here, or you're going to have something that's chippy from the very beginning just to try to make your mark on the game, let them know that this is different from the game that they're used to playing in their own home state.
It'll be 2nd and 2 after the official placement of the ball.
Looks like here they're going to do this QB option to the right.
Delay game on the offense, and we've seen a huge uptick in delay game penalties this year. That was a big conversation in the offseason, Ryan, about the delay of game penalty, and it's significantly stepped up this year, but it's shown a lot of these offenses do take a little bit of time to put it together.
Yeah, I'm not going to take any credit for this, but this was one of my biggest no credit, but You see how the play calling changed? They came out the last time, it was a twins left set, probably setting up for that QB option. Now they come out and they changed the play calling to something else based on those off. It looks like a power play.
And it bounces to the
Great
outside. Will they give him the touchdown?
Great blocking and great vision by this kid, number 20. He's been definitely running the ball well. He can be an X factor because I haven't seen the Renegades with a speed running back in years. This can definitely be an X factor. So watch out for him later on in the season.
And it looks like this one will get walked back, holding on the offense. So the Renegades have a great play from number 20 negated.
You'll see a good lead block here by 99. That's Christian Cole. That's the D2 All-American lineman I was telling you about. Yeah, so hold.
Not what you want if you're the Renegades, but if you're the Crush, you had an INT taken away. You know, be happy to get a 6 taken off the board and keep you in this one. And right now, with DeAndre Haynes back in, it's 2nd and 5. Watch the offensive line. Offensive line play in this league has significantly stepped up since last season. Seen a lot of new names, a lot of new faces. A lot of guys, like you said, Ryan, with high-level D2, D1 experience. The handoff off the screen. Ooh. Quick jet motion gets it to the running back. Will get it to the 5, and it will be 3rd down. And it looks like Trey Brooks was trying to rip and rob that one away from number 17. And it will be 3rd and 2.
See, the smart thing here for the Renegades is that they don't have 3rd and goal. 3rd and 2 allows them to get the 1st down without having to force the ball into the end zone. So their play calling right now is just conservative, just to get the 1st down, get a new set of downs, and then go ahead and punch it in to the end zone. They don't have to force their way. If this was 3rd and goal, then they would have to try to fight for a touchdown right here, where they don't necessarily have to. They just need 3 yards here to get the 1st down, and then they get a whole new set of downs to try to get a touchdown.
And especially when you want mistake-free football, you want to create, especially with the amount of picks you've had today. You had 1 pick taken away because of a penalty. The handoff on 3rd and 2. Bounces in, bounces out, bounces into the end zone. Touchdown, Renegades.
Yeah, he's had a great game today. This running back has had a great game today. This running game overall has a great game today. There's Chris Cole with the lead block. But Maurice Francis is definitely balling today.
Big Mo Francis on the touchdown and makes it a 3-score lead now. Let's see again here. Francis
Good
bounces.
Oh,
Ooh.
man, what a run.
And that's why, you know, we call it thick boy season in the A7FL, but there are just a variety of athletes of a whole different body types that are some of the best athletes I may have ever seen in football. And
that's some of the best running back footwork I've seen all season. And it comes from a guy that looks like he probably weighs about 285, 290.
You know, we big guys, we're limber, we're dancers. And now going for 2 from the 10, Service throws us underneath.
Oh, he drops it again. What's going on?
Richardson needs new gloves. Maybe needs to get a visit to Jobu after the drop.
I need my push-ups. The same way you going to give it in the end zone after the touchdown, I need my push-ups the same way you drop it on the line.
You got to get a push-up cam on the A7FL Instagram. Get somebody to go live on IG, pressure them. But, folks, this game is powered by Scene. If you want to find the next level of monetization capabilities for you and your content, head on over to SEEN.com. That's SEEN.com to get a look at it. And also, if you want to look at what it does in real time, you can watch anytime on A7FL.tv. Matt Ryan joined alongside Ryan Shamar as we get closer and closer to the top of 4 o'clock when the BIC and the Animals will face off in our games of the week. Right now, in the only other game in the A7FL, the Hawks lead the Buzz, and if the Hawks get a win, they find themselves in the playoffs. The Buzz and the Octane, with a loss, will find themselves out of the A7FL playoffs, and the last couple of weeks will basically be seeding and setting up for the big tournament starting in May. And Damon Small throws this one off. It's caught with more than enough distance. Cuts through one defender. Cuts through, but Jimmy Flott will help on the tackle. Made one man miss, couldn't get him the second time, and that's a return from number 85, Vaughn Hicks, who has the longest touchdown reception in A7FL history now.
Jimmy Flott has been tackling very well on these 3-on-1s today. Right when you think Vaughn Hicks is trying to cross the goal line for a second time, what a great tackle there by Jimmy Fott.
Great play, great heads-up defense to get that stop there, but it'll be 1st and 10 for the QC Crush. Trey Brooks now in on the offense, and he will try to give Keno Thomas some protection up front. Watch Q Vaughn. He's an eligible receiver at tight end, but 4 on the line. Trying to create a big body layer of protection. Thomas rolls out to his right, will keep it, and brought out of play and caught up to him. I believe that was number 3, Corey Price. That was Corey Price in on the tackle. So good for CP getting his first sack of the day, first stop of the day.
Yeah, I mean, this D-line is definitely making them make business decisions. I mean, when you get one solid block on the left side and here comes Damon Small on the other side, look at Corey Price filling out the gaps.
He tracked him the whole way. That was great vision by Corey Price to just follow him to the sideline. And then we see CP again. 2 generations of A7FL quarterback, or a Swiss Army athlete, Keno Thomas and Corey Price. The snap on 2nd and 15, swatted at the line. It'll be 3rd down.
Yeah, CP's job is 100% to spy Keno Thomas. It looks like they're going man across the board, showing 4 down to try to replicate the QC Crushers double tight set here. So CP's at safety, and his job is simply to spy Keno Thomas to keep him from these big gains and make him throw the ball.
And they have Richardson now up top, too, also playing a bit of a possibly spy safety to watch if they go deep, as they've done a couple of times so far today. 3 wide receivers set. The snap. The throw deep downfield. Can he get there? But there's Richardson. Swats the ball away, and it'll be 4th down.
That's a good knockdown by Mikey Richardson. Definitely a good play, good analysis by you, Matt, showing that he was in safety and he dropped out in the coverage to help over the top.
Oh, thank you.
Great play there by Mikey Richardson.
He was able to track that ball down, and this Renegades defense, when they're able to have time, they can do a lot of great work figuring out the quarterback. They have been able to make something happen, but at the end of 3, we are heading into our 4th quarter. When we return, can the Crush make something happen on 4th and 15? We find out on the other side of this. It's the A7FL Games of the Week. Stay right where you are. Back live with the A7FL Games of the Week. This is brought to you by GatorTech. Get more protected with the Gator Skin Shiesty now and get 10% off When you go to GatorTech.com, use the code A7FL25 for 10% off. Matt Ryan joined alongside Ryan Shamar. And the A7FL Games of the Week continue. 4th and 15. Keno Thomas steps up. He rolls out. He's going to have to get on his bicycle. He gets past the 45. Kenny gets stopped, and it will be Renegades' ball, as they did not get as far as they needed to. But Thomas showing some speed there as he gets brought down. And Thomas so far sacked 6 times by 5 different players, Ryan. Twice by Small, once by CP3, David Wallace, and Malik Brown so far on the day. We see this rush from Thomas.
It's great effort from Keno Thomas on 4th and 15, but these sets like this, you got to run on 1st and 2nd down. I mean, you're down 3 scores. You got to play in space earlier in the drive and not wait until 4th down to give him an opportunity to use his legs to extend plays. You got to run that earlier instead of the more conservative route that they ran on 1st and 2nd down.
It'll be 1st and 10. 2 wide receivers set. Small setup to the left, and he will get it from Service. He finds the side, and he pushes through, and will get to around the 31. 1st down, Renegades.
Yeah, at this point, they're just putting them to bed. I mean, they're up 3 scores here. They know they got a running clock here in the 4th quarter, so they're just going to run the ball. There's going to be a lot of inside zone with a QB read option from Anthony Service. They haven't been able to stop it all day. They're not going to do anything else special.
And at the top of the hour, it will be the BIC taking on the Animals, as we have some technical difficulties, and we're back here. Weather affecting everything here today in Asbury Park.
It looks like the sun is shining for the BIC Animals game. Came out right on time.
And we'll see if it shines on either of these teams. To throw underneath to Jimmy Flott. Flott met and brought down behind the line of scrimmage.
A great tackle.
And it will be 2nd down, 2nd and 12 for the Renegades. So far, an impressive day from Deontay Bailey. He might have had 1 INT taken back, but he's got 1 on the board, and he's been a big weapon for this Crush defense.
Yeah, he's been making a lot of tackles out here on the edge. Definitely been ball hawking with 2 interceptions, and 1 of them overturned on a inexcusable defensive pass interference by him. But he's been playing. He's been playing him. He's been playing. Keno Thomas has been playing, besides getting juked out of shoes on the last touchdown. I mean, they've been doing what they need to do to try to keep this game close.
Service will keep it. We'll find the sideline, and we'll extend out past the 20, and it'll be 3rd down as they get to around the 28-yard line, and the clock will continue to run here in our 4th quarter.
I mean, his mechanics are just, you can tell he's played football at a high level. I mean, he does all the right little things the right way. I mean, some of his passes haven't been where they need to be as far as our arm strength situation goes, because he's been leaving some short. But I mean, from his mechanics to his ball handling skills, he's definitely been doing what he needs to do to keep these Renegades where they need to be. But if you had asked anybody before today what they thought this score would be in the Northeast, they would probably tell you they had the Renegades scoring about 40 plus. So for them to have 25 points here, this QC Crush defense hasn't been too bad today. They've been doing what they need to do.
The snap, Service. The throw deep to the end zone. Almost swatted, but caught. Richardson.
That's a great play.
And that's
Mikey Richardson is a great player. That's a great play. It looks like he's down at the 1-yard line. I don't know where they give him a touchdown.
We're waiting for the call. We'll see what the officials say. We'll take a look here.
Looks like good ball placement by Anthony Service. I mean, from one angle, it looked like this was boxed up here.
Looked like it could have been a pick. Ooh, no. Oh, he caught it. No, he caught it.
Yeah, but that's a touchdown. He was never a touchdown. That should be a touchdown.
And it is confirmed as a touchdown. And getting those push-ups back in.
But see, I want my push-ups the same way when you drop the conversion at the 1. I'm sorry. Look at Chris Cole. I told you. It's a lot of D2. A lot of these guys played together at LIU Post. They all played D2 ball together. Chris Cole, Mikey Richardson, Kyle Ward, Anthony Service. The guys have been together a long time here. So having that chemistry, having that camaraderie amongst each other, they definitely, like I said, the Renegades did their due diligence this offseason.
And my doctor reminding me to get my knee looked at, and we look at this play right here, just right through the window, not touched after he caught the ball, and another big touchdown for the Renegades as they increase the lead. And right now, as we get closer and closer to 4 o'clock, the Renegades looking to climb, and nope, are now calling it no touchdown. It was an offensive holding.
Wow.
And an offensive holding call will make it 3rd and 19.
It's kind of late for a hold, no? They look though.
It's 3rd and 19 instead of 31-7.
I need to know what happens in these ref conversations, because it goes from debating whether or not it's a touchdown or not to now you're saying that there was some holding at the line of scrimmage. I don't understand why the delay in confirming a holding call.
I am not sure about that. It might have been. We'll wait to get the official call on that one. It's don't know if that was an initial call. That seems like the holding call was called prior to the touchdown. We're trying to get the TikTok of what actually happened. And speaking of TikTok, if you want to be a part of the A7FL on social media, give us a follow wherever you social media. Search A7FL and join us there. 11:30 left to go as the referees have a protracted conversation about ball placement. And it will be 3rd and 19. It was a late call. Now, it will be 3rd and 19. The penalty will hold. The touchdown will be brought down.
And see, plays like this normally result, like when you have a big play touchdown, get called back from a hold, and now forces 3rd and 19. Once again, the QC Crush got to know that the Renegades are in 4th down territory, and they're just looking to get in 4th and manageable here. So they got to be able to play defense for 2 straight plays here.
3rd and 21, thrown deep, intercepted one more time. Big play, another interception, and the Crush turn things around, and that is an interception by number 44 as the Crush get new life again off a huge turnover.
And that's the karma of those flags taking away touchdowns, is that now you put your offense in a position to have to go out there and do it again, and this secondary has been playing well. I mean, without the one defensive pass interference, this is the 4th interception here for Anthony Service, and Mikey Richardson is open again. This is just a bad read.
Drew Ruffin
forcing the ball to Damon Small. Mikey Richardson was wide open in the middle of the field, and they've been playing solid on the outside. It looks like down the middle of the field in the seam is where the leaks are. But every time Anthony Service has taken a shot one-on-one on the outside, it's resulted in an interception.
25-7 your score. The Crush looking to battle back here at 10:30 left to go. Have all 3 timeouts. Thomas throws this one deep, and that one's out of reach of the receiver. About 5 yards ahead of him. It'll be 2nd down, and Ryan, if the Crush find a way to score here on the throw-off, it will be the get-back rule in effect. So
at this point, Keno has to take ownership as a quarterback, because now you're throwing with the win, which you haven't been able to do roughly since the first quarter of this game. And he's missing big throws like that where he has a clean pocket, which he really hasn't had all game. He steps up and he misses a guy that could be running for a touchdown right now had he thrown a better ball.
And it will be 2nd down for Thomas. Vaughn Hicks from Keno Thomas, the only touchdown of the day for the Crush. The snap, and there's the handoff. Hicks finds his way through and will get to the 1st down marker, gets to the 40.
Way to keep pushing them forward by number 33. A lot of guys like to stand around on run plays. He helped this guy Hicks get an extra 3-4 yards there that kept the chains moving. That's good effort by number 33.
It'll be 1st and 10, and they will keep a no-huddle approach here. Smart with being down, even though they have all timeouts and a 2-minute warning. Thomas throws underneath, caught, and that will be brought down at the 48-yard line, 48.5, and it will be 2nd and short.
See, this is the part of the game that Keno might want to consider doing more often. Like when you're an athlete that has athletic ability like this and you have a team that can spread out and play, and natural sets, he might want to consider doing more up-tempo ball movement just to keep the D-line.
On 2nd and 3, intercepted. That one was
CP3 with a pick.
CP3, Corey Price with the pick. He tries to juke a guy out of his shoes, and he's brought down at the 39. Corey Price, the veteran, with a huge pick, but the work ain't done, and it looks like he might have strapped him up, but Corey Price with a sack and an interception on the day.
Underthrown ball by Keno Thomas again. It's an underthrown ball. The out route's there. He leaves it inside, and Corey Price makes a beat on the ball. A little handsy here, a little hole. The refs letting him play out there. But good pick overall by Corey Price. It's going to be a long week on these live streams for the Price is Right.
Quentin Vaughn, the intended receiver, and the Price was right there. If they were playing the mountain climber game, the crush would fall off it. And it is Masters Sunday. Trevor Narlock in the chat saying BIC Animals on Masters Sunday is nasty work, but you got to quad box it. The handoff. That's to the big man, Francis, and he will get stopped after a gain of about 2, and it will be 2nd down.
I'm happy for Corey Price, man. Way to ball out on defense when your defense is shorthanded in the secondary and the team likes to spread you guys out. Definitely good effort there.
And as their backs are against the wall, the Crush trying to blow through this Renegades offense and get a stop after the interception from Price. Service on their last drive gave up an interception. So the secondaries have been doing a lot of the talking here in the second half. 25-7 your score. The snap in trouble. Caught, and that is a huge reach for Richardson. He extended out for that one and then extended to get the first down. We'll see where they spot it. It'll be 3rd and 1.
It's the effort, you know, because these DBs are not touching down these receivers when they're making these diving catches. But this patented Anthony Service timing route on these curls have been working all day today. These DBs are bailing, and he's recognizing the bail, and he's throwing these curls. He's taking the check routes. He's making them have to tackle, and they're just simply not doing it.
3rd and 3, 6:38 left to go. Service with 2 wide receivers, 3 on the line, 1 man set to his left. A handoff, kept it, spun out.
That's a great tackle. That's a great tackle. That might be some of the best run defense they've played all day today.
And it looked like Service was trying. It looked like Service and the running back had a bit of a conversation about while trying to hand the ball off, because the running back, we'll see again here, 17 spins out immediately. Might have been a little late on the handoff or a little too heavy on the keep.
Service was trying to grab it there on one of those read options again, and the running back saw a lane and didn't let the ball go, which is what started the spin, because the running back was about to fumble that exchange. It looked like Anthony Service saw something he wanted. He went to pull it, and the running back and him had a miscommunication.
4th and 5. The snap. Service met immediately. The toss to the left side. Pushes through. We'll see.
Looks like 40 jumped off sides early. I don't know if they caught it or not, but it looks like he jumped off sides a little early.
It seems like it may not have been called first down for the Renegades as they move the sticks, and it will be 1st and 10 from the 28-yard line for the East Orange Renegades. Not a lot of time left here, but you can find time every week to watch A7FL in motion. Hang out with me as I recap everything in the A7FL and get ready for Sunday. You can watch A7FL in motion, and you can find out more at a7fl.com/watch. In trouble. Service. First down, and he is sacked.
The
ball's out.
Like
ball's out. And the Crush get it.
Refs calling them down. Let's see the replay.
Service and another player for the Crush looking a little winded. Got the wind knocked out of him on that one. We'll take a look at the replay here.
Look at this blocking by Chris Cole. Jesus Christ.
And rolls out to his left, and then just oh no, the ball comes out because of the ground.
So with a runner, the ground can cause a fumble if no body part was actually down before the ball. So I don't know. I would challenge it if I was the Crush. You got nothing to lose, but it looks like they're not doing it.
2nd and 9, the handoff. And Small pushes away, and number 55 was there with them the whole ride. And that was a lot of luggage to carry for Damon Small as we take a look again at the earlier run from Service.
When you're a runner, like I said here, forearms looks down. The forearm looks like it hit
Yeah.
the ground before the ball did. But if it was simply just the ground can cause a fumble for a runner if no other body part is down on the ground.
But it seemed like the forearm touch, but great rule interpretation there from Ryan Shamar, joining us in the booth for the first time and doing a damn good job, if I may say so myself.
I appreciate it.
Appreciate you. 3rd and 2, 3:20 left to go. Watch the bottom of your screen. Service rolls out, and he will just scream down the sideline, get the first down, and will be called out around the 11-yard line.
He has sneaky speed, man. Like he doesn't look fast, but when he takes off, I mean, he has speed that goes up there with the best of them. And he just takes care of the ball and he gets out of bounds. Like I said, I joke with him about his elusiveness and making people miss, but in this league, you don't really have to. You just have to do enough to get the job done and go back to the huddle for the next play.
And it will be 3rd and 2. Shout out to wherever you're watching, wherever in the world, and whenever in the world. Whether it's now, in the future, or in the past in some sort of weird Slaughterhouse-5 situation. We're heading towards the 2-minute warning. Small setup to the left of Service. Service throws underneath, caught. That's Richardson. Richardson will peel into the end zone. Touchdown. Renegades. Throws up the double bicep.
Yeah, he really is a strong guy, and when he gets that ball in motion and he keeps moving, he's hard to bring down. You got to make a good, solid tackle on a guy like him.
Now he keeps giving you your push-ups, Ryan. He just doesn't give them to you on the sideline. It's the 3rd time today Richardson scored.
Saying. You gotta take the roses the same way you take the thorns. You gotta give me my push-ups when you drop these key passes the same way when you're gonna score. Like, I expect him to score. I know he's great. I expect him to score most of the time he touches the ball. He's one of the best kept secrets in this league, but I just need it both ways.
And Keno Thomas was in on trying to get that stop, but an amazing throw from Service to increase the lead for the Renegades, 31-7. Price now in for the extra point. He will roll out to his left, and he will be met. The ball would be knocked out, but they give Corey Price the points.
Hard run by CP, good collision from him and Keno Thomas. Definitely a good tackle, but a hard run from CP.
He might have had the Sonic rings knocked out, but he did not get the ball knocked out. Let's take a look at the replay. Rolled out to his right, and then just immediately finds a seam, and he was expecting the hit.
Yeah, he could have very easily went to the pylon. It looked like CP wanted to meet Keno. I don't know if that's a personal thing with him and Keno, but he had the pylon by a mile. He never even had to take that route.
It might have been just to do that right there, show he's a strong boy. He's a strong man. And right now, the Crusher down bad, 32-7.
That's the thing I was mentioning about that confidence. You start making plays in this league. CP had a good contained play the first time he came out. Then he had an interception. Now he makes a conversion. It's confidence.
And if you want to bring the A7FL to your city, whether you're in San Francisco, the San Fernando Valley, or Rio Grande, Texas, or all points in between, east, west, north, and south, bring the A7FL to your town. Go to a7fl.com/owners. That's a7fl.com/owners. Coming to you live from Asbury Park Stadium, or Asbury Park Stadium, according to the scoreboard. Matt Ryan joined alongside Ryan Shamar on the A7FL Games of the Week, as the wind has certainly played a factor into today's game. And certainly the secondaries of both squads, despite it being 32-7, the Crush defense has had an impressive day in the back part of the field in the secondary to keep this game where it was and give the Crush on offense numerous opportunities. But it was the Renegades defense that has answered the call more often than not to set the stage for 32-7. Here in Asbury Park, New Jersey, Matt Ryan joined alongside Ryan Shamar. Damon Small will throw this off with the 3-on-1 throw-off. That will be a live ball that bounces in, and an opportunity for Trey Brooks to run it back, and Brooks will be brought down at the 25. 1st and 10 for the Crush as we near the 2-minute warning.
Yeah, at this point, I know this might sound harsh or funny, but QC right now is just trying to get one for the road. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to just come out here. It's a long road back to QC. You want to just come out of here with a touchdown, keep the confidence and the momentum going to the next week because we got a bye week coming up. You don't want to sit for 2 weeks with a 25-point loss. So it's like you're just trying to get one for the road right now. Just put together one more solid drive for Keno Thomas and his offense to try to get something going in to your next game.
It's a 2-minute warning in Asbury Park. When we return, we'll wrap this one up and give you your final. The Crush are down against the Renegades. We'll be back with the end of this one next. Two-minute warning here in Asbury Park. Matt Ryan joined alongside Ryan Shamar as the wind continues to whip in Asbury Park. 32-7 your score. We'll have highlights, scores, and more throughout the afternoon, and we'll have games throughout the day. At 4 o'clock, we hope you join us for the BIC and the Animals. We'll have some action out west as well. Games at 4 and 7 Eastern. Thomas on 1st and 10, and he will be brought down for the 7th time today. And that was number 34 in on the tackle.
Once again, that's that edge rusher, number 34, I've been telling you about from the Renegades. He's a great, underrated speed rusher in this league. Been doing it a long time, since the days of SWG. Solid speed rusher.
And a loss at 10 makes it 2nd and 20. A uncomfortable day at the office where I believe it was Malik Brown in on the sack. And the snap, oh, and that one swatted away. He was like, nah, bro, you not getting that today. The man that was cargo on the back of his jersey.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, he's the guy that I was telling you is just as big as Megatron, arms, lengthy. For small quarterbacks like this, just trying to get the ball out, I mean, you got to deal with the reach, the length. You got to throw over these guys. That leaves a lot of balls floating in the air for DBs to try to get under it, like we saw earlier with the pick from D'Angelo. I mean, this is a tough defensive front to deal with.
And on 3rd and 20, Thomas will just keep it. Cuts inside, will get to the 25, and he will be brought down near the initial line of scrimmage. And that will bring us to 4th down and 101 and counting here in the 4th. And with 53 seconds left, it will go for it on 4th down.
Might be the last play of the game for this QC Crush offense, man. You want to just reach in that bag, maybe go back to that trip set with the long over route that they scored on earlier to Vaughn Hicks. Might want to go back to that. I mean, after the touchdown, it was open again. Keno just missed the throw. Might want to just go back to that one last time.
And the timeout called by the Renegades. They want to get one more crack at the ball. It's a little showy, don't you think? Calling for that there when the game's somewhat in hand.
I mean, I don't know if they're aware of how the tiebreakers are working for the playoffs, so they might just be trying to get as much points as they possibly can for point differential purposes.
On 4th and 20, Thomas will get the first down, and he will stay upright, but the clock will continue to run after the first down from Thomas, looking for a bright spot in the rain.
I think the graphic was a little wrong. I think they picked up some on 3rd down. That looks like it was 4th and 10 or 4th and 11.
Yeah, it was around 4th and 15, give or take, yeah.
He runs and he gets a good quality first down. QC Crush calls timeout. Like I said, Matt, they're trying to walk out of here with just a good score for that ride home. Because, like I said, going home, losing 25, I mean, a loss is a loss. It hurts. But if you can go out with a touchdown in a first-time matchup out of state, they might just be trying to leave here with one for pride purposes.
And for the Crush, the remainder of the season, they travel. They face the Patterson U on April 27th. And that is when we return to action. That'll be the Crush's final game of the season. And that'll be a home date in Cincinnati. But a timeout called by the Crush with 30 seconds left to go. 32-7 your score. Thomas and company look to put one more point on the board. The only score that the Crush made was a substantial one. The longest pass play in A7FL history, 98 yards from Keno Thomas to Vaughn Hicks. And that was in the 3rd quarter, but now with 4 in the 4th with 30 seconds left to go, Thomas looks to put 6 more on the board with the time that's remaining. 3 wide receivers. One sets in motion. The snap. Thrown deep downfield to the sideline, and that will be incomplete. Looked like Ron Brown almost picked that one off. But with 26 seconds left to go, it'll be 2nd down.
I mean, even there, they got another step. I mean, Keno, he just has to work on his accuracy because some of these plays are there. Some of these plays are really there. Like, he got guys running open by a step or two for majority of this game, and his inaccuracy or his inability to get into a rhythm because of the pressure that this D-line is causing isn't allowing him to make these big-time throws when he needs to be able to make them.
And with 26 seconds left to go, Thomas seeing what happens when the world doesn't open up around him. He has to make something of it. Thrown deep, and that's almost intercepted again.
That's another guy open. He just leaves this floating. If he throws a more direct bullet ball that goes to the sideline, then that guy's able to make that catch, get out of bounds, stop the clock, and keep it moving. But this is just the difference between an athletic quarterback that is able to make plays and some of our elite guys that we were talking about in the pregame show, like David Tender, like Quattrell Huffin, like Sterry Cogderson. You know what I'm saying? Like, those are throws that those guys make.
And that's exactly right. Those are the big plays that you expect from a big-time quarterback, a leader on your team, and I think we're going to see a lot of those at 4, and especially throughout the rest of the A7FL season once we hit the playoffs.
Yeah, and it's not easy. I'm not here to break this kid down. It's not easy. It's just that if you plan on taking your team to the next level, you got to be able to make those throws. Like this right here, it's just an athlete that makes plays.
And that's 4th. It'll be 4th down. That will probably be the last play of the game and quite possibly the 8th sack of the day given up by the offensive line. When we return, it is final here in Asbury Park. Your final score, 32-7. The Renegades with the win. Ryan, not necessarily a final score you would want from the Crush, but a solid effort from them. Probably one of the tougher outs after 3, almost 4 interceptions given up by Anthony Service on the day, leading to still a 32-7 victory. The Crush just not able to meet the defensive line and the offensive line of the East Orange Renegades. They were just not able to battle against the pressure and create enough opportunities to score.
Yeah, I mean, this defense definitely got about 4 or 5 stops today. And against an offense like this and this offensive line, that's what you got to hope to make. I mean, at the end of the day, like I said, it's all about producing points off of stops. And if you're able to get the stops but no points, then unfortunately you got a nasty game like this one.
Now let's take a look at our final stats of the day. Pass yards, 158 yards through the air, 220 rushing yards for the Renegades, only 45 return yards, but they didn't return the ball all that much. 94 return yards for the Crush. They were limited to 79 rushing yards. You see the gulf there. The rushing yards are so huge that Service was able to pull off a 37-yard run for a touchdown. They had multiple guys, whether it was Mo Francis or Damon Small, who were able to rip off 4 or 5 yard chunks again and again and again. I think that created the most amount of space outside of these turnovers to give the Renegades the win here today.
Yeah, I mean, Anthony Service probably has about 85 to 90 yards this rushing. I won't even be surprised if he went over 100 because his read option runs are definitely the bulk of this rushing attack, but it only works with the setup of the running game from Mo Francis and Damon Small. So, I mean, at the end of the day, like I said, the QC Crush's offense not scoring was going to be the difference in this game, and it was.
And we will take a brief timeout, and when we return with the A7FL Games of the Week, we'll run some highlights for you as we get ready for 4 o'clock. Enjoy the parade of highlights. Me and Ryan will get you ready for the BIC Animals just before 4 o'clock. We'll see you on the other side of this break. Your final, Renegades 32, Crush 7. This has been the A7FL Games of the Week.
The idea is to put the pressure on the Crush.
Thomas throws that ball, and here we go. It's caught inside the 20. It's a live ball. Finds the sideline, pushes through the first man. That's
Anthony Service is sneaky here from these QB reads.
the snap. The throw underneath. That's caught. That's picked up by Jimmy Flott, and Flott, it's 1st and 10. Watch a little bit of this pressure off the edge. The snap. And then it will be kept by Service. Service will get past the first defender. Service follows the block, runs down the sideline. Touchdown, Renegades. This is the multiple ways to score. And now the Renegades and the Animals have been showing that, especially the last 5 weeks here in the A7FL. Service will keep it, tosses it back. Gets it in 2 defenses in terms of scoring in the league. Thomas hands it off in a meet. Thomas, about 5 yards back, steps up, in trouble, and will be brought.
See a lot of heavy man coverage here when people are blitzing 4.
It's on 3rd and 20. Thomas will have to step up. He will step out and try not to get stepped on, and he is brought down near the Renegades, and they will keep this one. Oh, it's caught inbounds, knocked back in. That is a live ball still. Risky play there from the Renegades, trying to get 6 more points on an untimed down.
The Renegades, even though they have 2 losses, I mean, they fought down to 1 possession in both losses against 2 top competitors. I think they've proved themselves a little bit.
Well, let's see if they prove it on 4th and 14. The throw, and that one is caught through the window. Jimmy Fly.
Oh, he's a D2 All-American offensive lineman. It's pretty hard.
And Service will keep it. He will get inside the 30. You're getting some really big stops on to start this drive. Give up a 4th and 14. And on 1st and 10, Small will keep it. Small, certainly not certain. Chaffos TV in the chat, in motion, number 85. He tosses it to him in his own end zone, and that is a 6.
He can. I see Mikey Richardson check back into the game, so I look for them to put it in the air again on 4th down here.
And 31 trying to outshift Keno Thomas there. Tried to huff
right there.
And it will be 4th and 4. Ball needs to get past the 34-yard line. The snap, Service steps up and throws, and that one is caught. And that is Small. He will stay upright. And
here it looks like they're trying to get to the outside opposite, so we'll see.
And you see Haynes as an eligible receiver. The throw underneath. That's to Richardson, and he will walk into the end zone. Touchdown, Renegades.
I like the clear out with the slant. I mean, it's definitely something they haven't ran all day today, and Mikey Richardson showing off his push-up game.
He owed a few. He owed a few after those misses, so he gets into the end zone. Oop, sticks the landing.
That's to keep them honest.
And that was Amatry Saul. Sorry, I thought he was a healthy scratch today. I looked at my roster wrong, but not looking wrong here, but it's intercepted by the Renegades. Flot at the bottom of your screen, Richardson at the top. 2nd and 1. They keep it. That's swatted off the line. Great play.
He's doing a good job as much as he can there to contain the edge. He had a big stop on the last QB option read. That's
Matt Ryan joined alongside Ryan Shamar. The Renegades driving after an interception from D'Angelo Brown. The throw, Service to the... Oh, and that one's picked off. The announcer Jinx gets Service. He gets Castellano'd, and the Crush get it to the initial line where the ball. Keep possession for as long as you can, because when you get it at half, play action. Thomas in trouble. Keno Thomas needs to let this one go, and he will be brought. Matt Ryan joined alongside Ryan Shamar and Anthony Service on 2nd and 8 after the 2-minute warning gets picked off. Back-to-back drives, back-to-back picks for the Renegades offense to crush.
Okay, good option.
And that's Thomas.
Safety.
And the snap, pressure immediately. Thomas gets around the defenders. He finds some open screen. He finds some open lanes. Than it was just a few moments ago. The snap, Service to walk this off, throws it down to Small. Small will get the 1st down and more. Small will plow through. He will keep moving. He will stay upright, tosses it back to Richardson, and he's out of play. Small would have had the touchdown, I think, but that just sets the markers at the 2.5. The snap, Thomas launches this one. Caught! 1st down, Queen City.
Oh, keep running. Keep
the body
running.
wasn't
He's
touched.
Never touched down.
He's
keep
live.
Running.
Von Hicks, slide from 97 and a half yards away.
He was never touched down. That's
Crush.
a touchdown. Big play for Keno Thomas and the QC Crush.
Pass play, the Crush on the Renegades. The big man in now. He tosses it back, looking to make this 13-7. Slips through the defenders. Keno Thomas.
A big conversion right here. Big conversion. Hopefully it stands.
Happen. Have had a pretty solid day. Service with 3 wide receivers, 1 man in motion. They keep it, does Service. Service finds the seam, finds the lane, screams downfield, stays upright. 3 on the line, 2 wide receivers, 1 man set to the left of Service. They snap, and they will hand it off. Brooks in pursuit, and he will get there. And it will be 2nd and 11. The handoff kept again. Here's the sideline, pushes through. Touchdown, Renegades.
That's a great run. Honestly, I don't want to take away from this running back because he made a great...
Back into the end zone with Keno Thomas. 9:15 left to go in the 3rd quarter. Thomas in trouble, and he will fight back the defender, but the A7FL, where we find out who from the East will be moving on to the bigger tournament. 2nd and 25 to toss underneath, and again the Renegades deep. Brooks looking to set up on the edge, and here comes the pressure, the handoff again, and pushing through the pile. Just a big step, big. When do you have to grab the guy? But sometimes it's just instinctive. 1st and 10, where you just any advantage you can get, as long as you don't get caught. And Service not going to get caught as he cuts through and gets the pad today. He had 1 pick taken away because of a penalty. The handoff on 3rd and 2, bounces in, bounces out, bounces into the end zone. Touchdown, Renegades.
Yeah, he's had a great game today.
Trying to create a big body layer of protection. Thomas rolls out to his right, will keep it, and brought out of play and caught up to him. Wide receiver set. The snap. The throw deep downfield. Can he get there? But and we'll see if it shines on either of these teams. The throw underneath to Jimmy.